What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people and I see dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Greetings and salutations to everybody that's in the chat. I appreciate y'all for tuning in today. It is Thursday, June 12th, 2025, year of our Lord. What up to all of my friends in the chat? What's good, Brandon Burke? Red Day says, hey, Wyatt, we got a whole show that's lined up for y'all today. Yesterday was pretty interesting. Switching it up, going back and forth. We did the early show, and then we back to kind of sort of our regularly scheduled program. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm going to just be honest with y'all. I'm just out here trying to figure it out like everybody else. Like everybody else, I'm just trying to figure it out. And we all winging it. We winging life, ain't we? We try to learn from our people's mistakes that came before us, trying to figure it out. If you don't have life figured out yet, don't worry about it, y'all. We all in the matrix anyway. We're all in the matrix. What up, Slick Boss? You said you missed us. We missed you too. Mama Love in the building. Treese, Big Happy. You and Delano put on a show yesterday. Shout out to everybody that was tuned in. Everybody that was tuned in to shout out to your car also. That was tuned in to Jason Whitlock's platform yesterday. So I pulled up and you know I'ma always put on a show. I don't even know what I'ma say until I say it. Your car says one word. What's the motivation for the day, Anton? Well, I'm gonna tell you what the motivation is for the day. The motivation for the day is life. It's life. The motivation for today is life. And I'm going to tell you what inspired this conversation. But before I tell you what inspired this conversation, let me bring you up to speed because Ananda Lewis, who was a former, and this might be before a lot of y'all time, some of y'all are of a certain age, so you get it, but others of you are not of a certain age. So it may not be applicable to you, but this was a very, very, very beautiful girl that used to be a VJ on MTV. They used to call him VJ, a video DJ basically, or a video jockey. And MTV was pretty much the pioneer of bringing music videos to the mainstream media and then bringing audiences in. And then obviously you had the transition. You had 106 in Park, which the BET Awards kind of celebrated the other day. But Ananda Lewis was one of the pretty young women growing up that we used to see on TV on a regular basis. And she's recently died from breast cancer at 52. And so I pulled up this video because this was a video where she was kind of talking about and speaking about not just her diagnosis, because it had, kind of been going through her diagnosis and stuff like that, but she was kind of speaking about what her thoughts were moving forward. And this video, I believe, was like 7 months ago. And so this is kind of, what she was saying. Even with her early detection, even with her catching it, she still succumbed to breast cancer at 52 years old the other day.
And most Black women I have higher kind of fibrous breasts, they call it. So I have a lot of granular feeling, lumpy things in my breast anyhow. So sometimes it's difficult to tell the difference between what's what. When I felt the tumor that I then months later found out was actual cancer, it felt different. And I was like, oh, it stops you. You go, oh, that's different. And then you have to figure out, your path forward. So my path forward started with way more integrated, or way more what we call alternative. I call it natural. And unfortunately, I didn't have the early detection. So I didn't have the benefit of time being on my side. And the longer time went with me doing the alternative way, and I did literally everything. I mean, I have a list that is mind-blowing of how much I spent, how much I did. Either way, it's expensive. But it wasn't working. And it was helping me in some ways. It was supporting my body, but it wasn't killing the cancer. And so I had to sit with myself and go, listen, the goal is living, not being stubborn, right? And because of that, I had to open myself up to what we call an integrative approach, or I had to do a bit of conventional. I had chemotherapy, but I did a 10% genetically targeted insulin potentiator. I did a very fancy chemo, right? And that allowed me to keep my body's health high, and which is great, because then your body has to heal you out of it. Ultimately, drugs are super helpful, right? I'm way open to drugs now, and I wasn't in the beginning, but I see the benefit for myself. I know for myself I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the chemotherapy, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my discipline, and all of it has had to come together in this journey. So it's been interesting.
Now, this woman succumbed to her disease. I don't know if that's how you label it, disease and all of that stuff, but she succumbed to her disease at 52 years old. Still gorgeous, still beautiful, still unproblematic, never caused a wave, never caused a problem, never was an issue to anybody, seemed to really be a beautiful soul, and she still succumbed to the disease. And so, on one hand, it's difficult for me to, because I know that we had these conversations on the Millionaire Morning Show on After Hours, and, we kind of deviate and stuff like that. And one of the things that people always say to me is, I believe that karma is real. I don't. I think that you get whatever it is that you plant into the soil. Sometimes it's good to be lucky. We lucky to be born in the United States of America. We lucky to be United States of American citizens, which is one of the reasons why I don't complain about the state that we're in the United States of America, because I could have been born anywhere else in the world. We all have a level of privilege. We was born at a time, for example, I was born at a time as a Black man where there's never been a better time to be a Black man in the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? I could have been born in the 1600s or the 1500s or something. And, I think about life from that lens when I see good things or good people succumb to nasty diseases and injuries and stuff. And I know that we can get into the health journey. From my research of her, she was pretty healthy. She was pretty focused on what she put into her body and all of that stuff. But guess what? Life happens to everybody. And even the word of God says, it rains on the just and the unjust. It rains on the just and the unjust. That's why I lean on it. And I say this regularly, and I know that people are starting to become numb to it, but I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep beating it into you until you understand it. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. You can't control the cards that you was dealt. The only thing that you can do is make the best of a situation. But here's the other thing that I tell people in my social circle. This is what I tell people that are closest to me, okay? And you've heard me say this before, but I'm going to expound a little bit more on it because your car asked the question and he said, what is the life lesson today? And I said, life. And I say this with regard to relationships, but I'm saying it in general. This is how I live my life. I spend 90, you've heard me say this 1,000 times. I spend 99% of my time focused on the things that I love. I spend 99% of my time focused on the things that I love. The thing that I love about you. I don't spend my time. I try my hardest. And sometimes I even get frustrated in real life at some of the people that are surrounded by me because they choose to spend so much time focused on this menial bullshit, stuff that don't matter. At the end of her journey, Ananda Lewis, I would like to think, because the only thing that she could talk about, considering what she was diagnosed with, is I want to live, I want to live, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. I would venture to say that at the end of her journey, she wasn't focused on all of the little menial bullshit that she probably, somebody owed you $5, or I can't believe you talked to me this way. You know, one of the things that I've learned to do, and the people that's closest to me, you know, I got to do a better job at this, but I've trained myself not to care about text messages. You know why I don't care about text messages or responding too much to text messages? Because I believe, and all of you probably are familiar with this, I believe, let me get this off the screen. Shout out to her. Rest in peace to her. I hope her family is doing well. Some of you can probably relate to this, but what I've learned is that miscommunication often comes at times when you're texting. And so I choose not to text a lot because it could be miscommunicated, and people can take whatever it is that you text to mean whatever. They apply their own tone to it. Is based off of how they feel at the time and all of that. And so, you know, I found that the more that I text, the worse form of communication for me is text messages. And so if it's not on some, you know, general stuff or some business stuff or whatever, I usually don't really get into it. And I probably overtrain myself in it because I don't like to be misunderstood. And I'd rather actually talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So I found that when I send a message and then people start feeling some type of way, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop that. And I try to program the people that are closest to me to, hey, listen, what are you talking about? This is stupid. Why are we spending so much time on this? Don't be so emotional. Focus on the things that's positive. Focus on the things that's successful. You know why? Because you don't know when the end is near. You don't know. We always talking about what's going to happen in the future. A lot of y'all like to be overly biblical and stuff like that. Oh, man, I'm only reading Revelations and this is what's going to happen. We at the end of times. Your end of times may be tomorrow. Your end of times could be 40 years from now, 50 years from now. And so when people a lot of times spend time with me or they hang out with me or you meet me at a meetup, shout out to the Bag Chasers. I live it all right then and there. I'm in the moment. I'm truly present for whatever it is that I'm doing. I say what I really mean and I mean what I say. I never played a politically correct game because it's not worth it to live life in these parameters of foolishness or not focusing on the things that's meaningful, especially with the people that's the most meaningful in your life. We have a limited amount of time. We got a finite amount of time on this earth. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Are we going to waste our time and continue to focus on the things that don't matter? Or are we going to spend our time focusing on the things that's meaningful? Because at the end of the journey, and trust me, I've seen too many people die. I've been to too many funerals, and I've seen too many people, it seems like, die before their time or go before their time. Apparently, it wasn't before their time. It was just their time. Old, young, all of that. And what I found is the thing that you then don't regret is the time that you spent more meaningful moments with the person that you really care about. What's up, Nicole? Welcome. What up, Nicole R? The thing that's the most meaningful, stop wasting time on this stupid nonsense. Promise you, it's not worth it. People be, so dumb. The stuff that we really care about, oh, he stepped on my toe. I don't like the way you said this. Um, you could be on vacation, you could be having a good time, you could be, I remember one time I was chilling and the conversation was just like stupid. It was just really dumb. And I was like, yo, what we doing? Are we about to have sex? Are we about to have a good time? What we gonna do? Or we focusing on this dumb shit? And they couldn't let it go. They just couldn't let it go. And I was like, you know what? I feel you. And this is a true story. You know what? Because they couldn't let it go. They kept going down that path. And the older I get, the less tolerant I am for spending time on things that don't matter. And so I said, you know what? I hit him with the classic. You got it. You got it. That's it. I started getting my book bag together, putting my laptop up, make sure I got all my cords. Where you going? What you about to do? What you about to do? Better things. Better things. Better things. Peace. Be still. Peace, be still. I'm not arguing with nobody. I'm not going back and forth with nobody. I'm not trying to figure it out with people. I'm not trying to make it make sense in your mind. I'm gone. Call me when you get yourself together or don't. Either way, I'm gone. No, I'm not. Life. Lord, give me more life. More life. More life. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And it doesn't mean that you can't be forgiving. Don't mean that the person can't come back from it. Don't mean that you can't, you know what I'm saying, figure out, leave that under, let it bridge under the water, cool. Don't let the wrath go down, sun go down on your wrath, all of that stuff. But the fact of the matter is, see, look at Anthony Washington. We're not going to even highlight. I would usually highlight comments like that, but now I've put a greater barrier to entry. You know how you filter out people that are ignorant? You know how you filter out dumbasses? You start to put rules in place that they can't skip over because they literally are in an arrested development mindset. So you say, hey, everybody got to put a profile picture up before you can highlight their comment unless they super chat. Then that just makes all of the dusties. Now they arguing with themselves. Not it. Nope. No focusing on nobody with a profile picture. We don't know who this person is. He could be in his basement. Just got done jacking off. He got jizz in his socks. We don't talk to people that got jizz in their socks. We just keep on going. We don't waste our time with people that got jizz in their socks. You still a teenager. We don't even talk to people that don't got a profile picture no more. We don't disclude them. We gonna let them argue with themselves, but we don't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? we laugh at these people. One of the things that Ananda said is stress is directly tied to your health, as even when it comes to cancer, and I believe that. I believe that stress is directly tied to your health and whether or not you develop cancer. We don't talk to people that got jizz in their socks. at all. Put your wiener up and then come back and then we can have a conversation. Now, when you want to talk like an adult to the adults, then we'll address you. And first, you got to get a profile picture. First, I laugh at these raggedy niggas. Yo, it was a dude that y'all sent me a DM on Instagram, and it was a dude that was simp. It was some new simps that's trying to get some traction. I'm not gonna say their name because I don't want to give them any visibility, but they took the video and they said, yeah, I don't understand these dudes. It's the sassy man syndrome because, they talking about, you shouldn't talk to a single mother. If you a man that that don't have any kids, that you shouldn't marry a single mother. And he cloud chasing. And so I was just like, oh, that's cute. That's cute. He trying to create content. I get it. Do your thing, big dog. Do your reaction videos, sit in your car, create your content. Get your money. Get your money, big dog. You got to get a bigger platform before I respond to you. You got to get a bigger platform. But you know what the funny part about it is? I extend the same grace to women. I tell women, hey, listen, you want to be a step baby mama? That's on you. I can only really speak to it from a man perspective. But if a woman tells me, yo, Anton, I don't know if I could deal with another woman's kids, I'm not tripping. I get it. I'm in support of you, queen. It's the same thing for women. I can't speak on it as far as what I would advise you to do based off of what I would do because I'm not a woman, but I get it. If you say, yo, I don't want to deal with a dude that got small children and I don't want to deal with a dude that got kids, I get it. I feel you. Ain't nothing wrong with you having preferences. But again, the point is that let them have their time. Let them have their moment. Let them create their content. Don't be getting bent up out of shape. Don't get bent out of shape. At all. They watching you, not the other way around. They watching you, not the other way around. Anyways, life, more life. God, Lord, in Jesus' name, give us more life, more meaningful life, more healthy life, a more significant presence. Bless the things that we do to be edifying, to be great, for us to be happy, for us to feel love, even when we suffering. Bless it to be for a purpose and not just because we got self-inflicted wounds. And bless us to make better decisions on the people that we align ourselves with so that we can have a more fruitful, more meaningful, more life. In Jesus' name, amen. So rest in peace to her. I want the best for her. I want the best for you. I want the best for us. All right? Let's continue on. How can you not love me? How can you not like me? I'm the best that there is. Ain't nobody better than me. That's a fact. Let me read some of these super chats. In Jesus' name, amen. First of all, I want to give a shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude. Thank you, Mike That Dude on Cash App. Spencer Campbell says, good morning. What up, Spence? Thank you, Spence. I really do appreciate you. Shamira says, the way you cooked on Jason Whitlock, talk about it. Jason's producer said, man, we love you. We love you. That's a fact. Oh my God, we got to get you back again. I love Jason. Shout out to my dog, Jason Whitlock, doing great things over there. Let me acknowledge a few of these super chats. And again, rules of engagement. If you want me to even pay attention to you in the chat, you got to get a profile picture. I don't think that that's too much to ask. I'm sitting here live as myself. You at the very least can put your dick up and stop putting jizz in your socks and get a profile picture. Go ahead and get that dusty picture up there, big dog. Kay Cooper says it wasn't early detection. She wasn't getting her mammograms every year in her 40s. Okay. Thank you for giving me some insight. I'll take that. The goal is living a good life. You know what I'm saying? Not being stubborn, says Messi. That hit me. She was so gracious and sweet. Fuck cancer. No cussing in the chat, though. Nah, you can say what you said. You said what you said, Messi. Keep cooking, bro, says the Gray Way. Just wanted to show my profile pic. I like that profile pic, big dog. You killing it out here. You be killing them. King says, pray for me. I went off on a childhood old friend on Facebook for justifying ruining Kobe and Gigi's mural by comparing January 6th. It's okay for you to go off on friends. Let it fly. Let it fly. You know? Let it fly. I needed to hear that. Thanks, Unc, says Big Euro Shorts. You welcome, my friend. Mr. Lot says, you had me in deep reflection until you brought up socks. My dog, Mr. Lot, Jay's African Perspective says, just wanted to show some love. Keep doing yours, AD. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Jay's African Perspective. Chat for more says, good morning, AD. Been a while. I try to elevate other people's mindset around me, especially in hard times, but they don't listen and suffer at the lowest level. Facts. My girl, Mika says, absolutely love AD. Let's live life. I'm going to tell y'all the honest to God truth. Mika has a special place in my heart. I don't know if I'm developing more of an affinity for her. I don't know if it's the way that she looks when she's on screen and she be chilling. I don't know if it's the way that she just get a little bit more sheepish when she around me, but I have developed a love for Mika that is second to none. I don't know if I've ever felt this way about one of my proteges. You know what I'm saying? She too cute. I said, get this little girl away from me. You're not about to have me crashing out over no Mikas. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my girl Mika. If y'all not a part of the Red Cup Talks podcast and not checking out her content, you really missing out. You really, really missing out. Really, man. You can catch her tonight. She might give you some clavicles. She may not. I don't know. You develop the love. We all love Mika. Facts. We all love her. You developed the one. You said Molly is gorgeous too. Oh, listen, let me tell you something. The beauty that these women have, both inside and out, don't take away from each other. And let me tell you what's so awesome about Mika, Molly, Carrie, and Kim. They don't hate on each other. They don't hate on each other. That's the interesting thing about it. I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but these girls, they don't hate on each other. It is so rare to see a group of women to be able to exist in the same space for an extended period of time without having no shade at each other. They may disagree with each other. They may have different perspectives, but they do not hate on each other whatsoever. Now, the fellas, we crash out. Me, Slimmy, 2K, Quentin. Man, they just let men be men. They let men be men. But if you don't get along with the crew, then they don't hate on each other. They ain't got no hate for each other whatsoever. That's the thing that I love about them the most. They all show love to each other. They all rock with each other. They all got love. If you compliment one, they just be like, oh, she is so sweet. They don't diss each other. They don't diss each other at all. They got all love for each other. That's why I like them. Ladies, y'all need to learn from them. Learn from them. Learn from them. They ain't got no smoke for each other. They just all love. Shane Agender says, keep up the great work, bro. I appreciate you. My dog, J Ben, says, you said they got crunch toes from baby batter. Keep putting on these, chop your head off with that sock. There's so much in there. They call me Mr. Bibb, says Hardwell floor guy in the house. What's going on, Anton in the bag chaser screw? You know, Eastside Detroit in the house out here in Belleville today. Get that money, big dog. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We got to go international first because this is some of the biggest news out here in these streets. Air India flight crashes and it kills 242 people on board. That's what I'm saying. More life. More life. More life. You never know. You just never know what the heck is going to happen, how things are going to play out, what the piss is going to happen. Man, this is some Final Destination type stuff. These people got on this plane. I'm pretty sure that they were sleeping. Some people were asleep before the flight even took off. Next thing you know, all 242 is gone. You just don't know. You have no clue. You wake up, and next thing you know, you got to answer to God. Where am I at? Your plane didn't make it, big dog. What you mean my plane didn't make it? Yeah. Hey, Peter, we're not going to talk about it. Hey, Peter, can you give me a summary of what he got going on in his life? Next thing you know, you got to talk to Peter. I'm not trying to talk to Peter this early. I got some things that I need to fix. I personally me, I'm just going to be honest with you. For me personally, for me and mine, I have some things that I need to fix before I go and kick it with Peter. I don't want to talk to Peter yet. Peter, give me a second. Jesus, give me a little bit of grace. I need about another 4 to 5 years to finish this journey before we can start having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? I take 47 years. I'm 43. I go at 90. Give me till 90. We'll talk about it.
Let's bring in transportation reporter Sam Sweeney and ABC News contributor and aviation analyst John Nance. Sam, any sense of what went wrong here?
Diane, it's way too early to speculate on this, but this was not a nosedive. This plane had just taken off. We've seen videos circulating on social media showing it almost looks like it's landing. It's coming down at roughly 500 feet per second on a glide scope, so not a nosedive. The landing gear was still down. This signifies some sort of loss of power. And of course, we now know that the captain did make some sort of a mayday call, but then that was it, and we did not hear what the issue may have been. So now investigators are going to rush to the scene. They're going to pull those black boxes, and they're going to go through the data. They're going to see what was going on in that plane. What were the inputs? Where were the flaps? What were the engine power settings? Was there something that was put into the engine, into the computer system that was bad data? That maybe the engines simply didn't have enough power? Or was there some problem with the engines? Was this dual engine failure? That's what they need to figure out.
John, this is the first crash involving a Boeing 787 Dreamliner. Is there anything that sticks out to you about that plane?
And the judge didn't say what the issue.
There's nothing in particular about the airplane because this has been a superlative machine ever since it came out of the factory. This is the first fatal accident, as you said. And Sam has it right when he's talking about the fact that there's a potential that this was a loss of engine power. That's what I see out of the videos that I've already taken a look at. You don't have an airplane doing what this one is doing and have power still on it. And that's one of the areas they're going to be looking at first.
Sam, what about the pilot? What do we know on that front?
Pilot had 8,200 hours of experience. This was an 11-year-old plane, and it was loaded with fuel. It was going from India to London Gatwick Airport. That's roughly a 10-hour flight, so you can imagine with all of that fuel, and you have impact with the building, the explosion there. We don't know about the co-pilot yet. Or any of the passengers on board, what their conditions may be. But this, based on the images alone, is quite serious and would be difficult to survive.
John, what are you watching for next here?
Basically, you rule nothing in, you rule nothing out at the beginning of this sort of an accident. But there are incredible indications here that we're going to be able to triangulate with a lot of different video. This is a different age than it was 10 or 20 years ago. We have actual video of crashes that can help anybody who's investigating it very, very profoundly.
Maggie, what are you listening for in terms of guidance on the emergency response underway right now?
Well, right now that emergency response is currently underway. We've heard from local police on the ground that they are dedicating all available resources. We've heard from Air India saying they're supporting in any way that we can. And the fact that now Prime Minister Modi has also been very outspoken, calling this a tragedy for the country, calling it heartbreaking. Can imagine that they're going to dedicate all resources possible. This is one of the largest, if not the largest, plane crashes ever in the history of India. So this is something that's going to really have ripples throughout the entire country and also the aviation industry there, Diane.
And Sam, I mean, this happened.
Is it me or does it seem like we've had more plane crashes worldwide, not just here in the United States of America, not just helicopters, not just jets, not just smaller aircraft, but it almost seemed like we just had more plane crashes than I could ever remember in recent memory. I don't know what the heck is going on. Planes just don't lose power like that. Flying to Thailand be crazy too. They were flying to London. The actual flight was on its way to London from India. I don't know. Again, they said it was an 11-year-old plane. Is for those of you that may be a little bit more familiar with the aviation industry and what the average age of a plane is, you guys tell me, is that really old? Is an 11-year-old plane really that old in order to be, having these type of malfunctions and issues and problems and stuff like that? Y'all give me the game.
Often when we see plane crashes in a rural area, not a lot of people on the ground.
On a couple other sources.
This is a busy.
Breaking news out of India this morning, where
y'all said it's not more crashes, it's just more social media, more coverage of it.
There say a passenger plane has crashed at an airport in Ahmedabad. This video shows heavy black smoke near the airport. Air India has confirmed that it was.
Y'all saying I need to be careful which plane I fly. You can actually check the type of plane that you're flying on before you book the flight, right? Or at least in Delta. I know the majority of the Delta flights, you just be able to check the actual flight, or you can actually check the plane, the aircraft itself. You can search by aircraft, by type of aircraft. Y'all said only rock with an Airbus. It looks like it's getting there.
One of its planes that was traveling to London. We're going to bring in now CNN Salma Abdelaziz. Salma, what details have you learned so far?
We just received word that there were 242 passengers and crew on board that flight, 242 souls. And when, of course, you look at these images, Adi, that we are looking at of this thick black smoke pluming from the site of the accident, of emergency crews rushing to that scene, it is very difficult to imagine if any of those 242 souls have survived this crash, which happened less than a minute after takeoff at only 625 feet. Of those 242 people on board, 169 are Indian nationals.
They said that it actually crashed in a local neighborhood, so there could be more casualties outside of the 242 people that were on the plane, including passenger and crew.
53 are British nationals, 1 Canadian national, and 7 are Portuguese nationals. That's according to an Air India statement. The airliner has also set up an emergency services center to provide support to the families and to provide support to those emergency crews on the ground. We've also heard from India's civil aviation minister, who says he is doing his utmost to provide whatever is needed for those rescue workers on the ground. But you look at those scenes again, the charred buildings, the crowd, the residents, you wonder how.
Dragnet since 1967 said, I'm staying home. Nah, I can't stay home, big dog. I'm not staying home. You're more likely to die in a car crash than you are a plane crash, even with all of the coverage and the 242 people. Let me see this. I got to check to see how many people die every day from a car crash.
The epicenter of damage is when it comes to this plane crash. This plane was also supposed to land here in London at about 6:30 local time at Gatwick. We've heard confirmation from Gatwick that that flight was expected, which means that families on this side could also be asking questions.
Every day in the United States of America, according for Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC.gov, every day between 100 every single day. In the United States alone, this is not worldwide, this is just the United States alone. Every single day, there's between 100 and 120 people that die in a car accident every single day. In 2022, let me see this one. In 2022, they got the data all the way up until 2023. Let me see something. Total deaths. In 2022, 42,000 people died by car. 2023, roughly 41,000. In 2024, 44 anticipated. It's estimated that roughly 44,000 people died by car accident. That's crazy. Inside of the United States of America. That's a lot of people. 44,000 people every single year die in a car accident in the United States of America. So there you have it. You're more likely to die in a car accident than you are inside of a plane.
This morning as they try to find out again what happened to the 242 people on board that flight. For now, the focus is, of course, on the scene of the crash, where emergency rescue workers are working right now through the rubble, through the charred buildings, through the fires that you're seeing on your screen there. And the other focus, of course, the other epicenter, of course, is going to be this emergency services center that's been set up by Air India.
Now, hold on. That doesn't say how many people has been injured or how many people have been in car crashes or car accidents. That says how many people die from the car crashes or the accidents. So you have more variables that go into play, right? Because you have people, somebody else is driving at the same time that you are. You got more cars on the road. You got the type of vehicles that people are driving, all of that stuff. You pretty much are leaving your fate. When you get into the air, you're leaving your fate to the mechanics and you're leaving your fate to the pilots, which is one of the reasons why I respect pilots and you know, people that work for the airline industry so much. You're basically leaving your fate up to them. But when we have the wheel and we get to choose for ourselves and we got to compete against 100,000 other drivers, I see people on the freeway all the time going 130. I just stay in my lane. I don't even move. Because then you'll have some lady, some woman. We know that women are worse drivers than men, don't we? Do we already know that, chat? Are we already aware of that women are worse drivers than men, or is that something that I gotta re-emphasize and explain? I know y'all gonna try to pull up the stats. No. Statistically speaking, women are better. No, they're not. I've been in a car with y'all. I know how y'all drive. I seen you move your seat all the way up to the steering wheel and you driving like this. Hell no. Get me out of the car. Get me out of the car. Nope. She's sitting all the way up like this to the steering wheel. Her knees is all scrunched up. Nope. I'm the one driving. Get over into the passenger seat. Nope. I don't even like female Uber drivers. I'm sorry, man. What are you doing?
India, you can expect that family members will be rushing there with questions, with fear, with worry and concern.
Joining me now to discuss CNN transportation analyst Mary Schiavo. Mary, first, let's just talk about it taking off and apparently crashing so soon after takeoff. What are you thinking as you hear the early reports about what's happening?
Well, as I hear the early reports, this is 787 Boeing Dreamliner. This will be the first major crash, the first crash of a Dreamliner. And as we can see, there's also some footage floating around out there on the internet. If it's correct, it does appear that the plane was just after takeoff. I don't see any flaps deployed. Now, flaps are like little winglets on the back of the plane, little parts of the wing that help give it lift. And you use those at various parts in the flight. I don't see those deployed. And also the important clue is that the pilot was able, according to unconfirmed reports, able to get off a mayday call. That means that the pilots knew they had a problem, some kind of a problem on the plane. We don't know yet if it's a mechanical or some other issue, but by being able to communicate that mayday call, we do know that the pilots were having trouble with the plane. So already there are many clues, but the explosion that was recorded on some tape that's floating on the internet unconfirmed.
Well, again, we want to wish condolences over to the families. Never want to see a tragedy like this happen. But yeah, man, you got to live every day like it's your last, and you got to leave it on the floor because you never know. You can get on Air India And that could be the end of it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read a few of these super chats, and then let's get into the thick of things. DJ Complex says, good afternoon, AD. What's the best email I can ask a career question if possible? Bad Chasers is up. It's just my regular email, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. I thought about changing my email for a second there. Or I thought about getting a separate email because I need to get a different email for some of the stuff that y'all be sending me. Y'all ladies is wild. Yo, I got the craziest email the other day. Hey, man. Hey, bro. Let me call his name out. Talking about I'm being discreet. Let me put you on blast real quick. I don't usually do this, but we got to have a conversation about this shit. I don't like it. Where is it at? Let me see if I can find it. You ain't gonna get away with that one. If I can find it, we gotta have a conversation. You're gonna send me a picture of some money, talk about I like to be dominated. I don't know if you was trolling or not, but I don't Yeah. Arnold man 526@gmail.com. Called himself a beta bitch, and he liked to pay alpha males. Says he work hard and he discreet. He puts money aside for this purpose, and he won't ask anything sexual, no strings attached. Serious message. I enjoy being disrespected and treated like SHIT. Thanks. Arnold. And they're going to send me a picture of some cash. We need to start calling out this nonsense, y'all. Yeah. Listen, we don't tolerate zesty behavior here, okay? So he put Wednesday, June 11th on it, and then he put it up there. He says he lives a cash master lifestyle. Arnold, it's not going to fly with me, big dog. Y'all not going to keep playing games. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I'm going to make you famous. Don't ever do no junk like this. If you a man, don't ever send a man an email with this type of nonsense. Okay, Arnold? This is Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that we set some precedent here. This is a business email, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. It's for business. Now, for the ladies that want to try to get in touch with me and you feel like you need to get some stuff off your chest, or you want to get a little bit more insight on how you can get a personal conversation or something, you can DM me. All right. Send it to me on Instagram. You can send that to me on Instagram. All right. But for the most part, it's all business. All right. I'll do business through email. That's it. Disrespectful. I couldn't believe it. I said, what in the world is going on? So yeah, DJ Complex, that's how you can get in touch with me. AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Dre Doris says, good morning, AD. Sorry to hear about Ananda. Watched her growing up. I kicked cancer's butt back in 2011 when I was 34. Regular checkups are a must to find anything early. Much love and prosperity to you all. More life. That's the theme of the show today. More life. What is this? Carell McCargo says, Time Dog. They got what in they socks? Jizz. they got a whole load in there, multiple loads. J-Ben says we have less crashes than prior years. There's just more focus. If a mosquito crashes these days, it's news. Fun fact, Spirit has newer planes than most. Yeah, maybe we need to switch over to Spirit. Maybe I need to become a Spirit ambassador. Spirit, send the bag. Come get in touch with me. Spirit, come holler at me. We doing 30 million views more than 3 million watch hours every single month, all right? Every time someone runs me off the road, has been a female on her phone. They don't even check to see if you okay. They just keep driving like it's normal, Brando says. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Arnold got a Denny demon. He thought back chasers meant something different. I don't know what he thinking, Mr. Lot. Son is trying to be 80s pay pig, says Wesley Turner. All money ain't good money, Wes. Devastator says, AD, you got to do an updated review on a lady with the Chevy Tahoe from 2 years ago. She dropped another video, says she can't afford the $1,400 and is going to let it go and get it repossessed. Well, send it to me, Devastator. Email me at AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Send it to me. I'll definitely react to it today. All right? Spirit got roaches. I don't believe that. People got roaches. People got roaches. All right, y'all, let's get into the thick of things. Let's start getting heavy in here in the building. More protesters playing across America. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. If you haven't already and you're looking to grow up and grow out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. First, let's just go nationwide. What's about to start happening?
The protests against immigration raids in Los Angeles and spreading to other cities across the country. Matt Rivers is tracking it all from LA for us. Good morning to you, Matt.
Yeah, good morning, Robin. Things quiet for the moment here at the Federal Building in downtown Los Angeles. This overnight curfew that's been in place is clearly having an effect, but we are expecting more protests here later today, not only here in Los Angeles, but across the country.
Overnight protests spreading across the nation as President Trump's deportation efforts ramp up. In Seattle, flames near the Federal Building, fireworks erupting into the crowd, police using mace pushing back against protesters. Here in Los Angeles, residents in their second night under curfew, protesters out after dark arrested. LAPD also seemingly detaining specific individuals from the crowd. Earlier in the day, mounted police appeared to almost trample people gathered outside City Hall as they tried to push them back. Demonstrations growing from coast to coast. Smoke filling the streets in Spokane, Washington, as protesters and police clash. The mayor there placing parts of their city under curfew. And in Indianapolis,
they're using the same chant that they did during the Black Lives Matter protests. The no justice, no peace. They're using literally the same chants.
At least 1,000 demonstrators peacefully marching outside the NBA Finals game. Our Mireya Villarreal on the scene in Texas, where things remain peaceful.
There are San Antonio police officers all around this downtown area. So far right now, things have been peaceful.
And in New York, hundreds of peaceful protesters taking to the streets. A coalition of local mayors in California calling for the ICE raids to end.
All of us represent cities in this region where immigrants are key. To have people live in fear like it is today is just unacceptable.
The raids ramping up nationwide. In Southern California, ICE agents chasing a farm worker through strawberry fields Tuesday morning. And in Omaha, Nebraska, the state's largest immigration sweep yet. Dozens arrested at a meat production plant. A group fighting back, climbing onto a law enforcement vehicle as it tries to leave. U.S. Marshals pushing them away. Dozens of workers were handcuffed with zip ties and taken away on a bus.
They just came in and said that it was a raid and we had to get everybody out of production.
And these images drawing stark criticism, pictures of armed National Guardsmen accompanying ICE agents as they conduct operations.
Now, the roughly 700 Marines deployed to the Los Angeles area by President Trump are said to have completed their training nearby. And, George, they're expected to be deployed onto the streets here within the next day.
So, I know I'm going to get into this later on in the show, but I don't think that things are as they are being presented to us, to the general public. I'm going to get into it. I'm starting to get a lot of videos with evidence of people basically showing me that they are being paid to go out there and do this. Now, for you dummies and you idiots that feel like you need to call off work so you can go out there and protest, be careful. Be very, very careful, because I am advocating for our federal government and our local municipalities to actually hold you guys accountable, to arrest you and hopefully throw you in jail and prosecute you if you are caught doing things that you're not supposed to do. I was looking at a video earlier. Maybe I could pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up right now. Of white people spray painting. White people that was spray painting federal property. See if I can find it. I couldn't believe it. And she was doing it right in front of federal police officers. I don't know if I could find that. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was crazy. Let me see if I can find that while I play this. Give me a second, y'all. This is the car that we was looking at yesterday that was driving through. Yeah, get in front of it if you want to. Listen, get in front of a Kia that it got a spare tire and no bumper if you want to. An old school version of a Kia, they're not messing around. I'm using a Ludacris song.
Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate.
Check this out. Look at this video real quick. Let me show you something.
Just keep going. I gotta ask, what's the point of doing that at this point? Like, what's the point of tagging? I'm just asking. No, I wanted to know because, you know, Old Vera Street. No, I'm asking. I'm not here to. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to ask. What's the point of it? I'm literally not here to judge you.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on.
Get them the fuck out of our city. If they don't fucking stop, we're gonna continue. We'll burn it all down.
I know, but vandalism, what does it do?
We burn it all down. You don't understand, stupid?
No, I'm not trying to be stupid.
You are.
Well, how come they're destroying the Mexican properties? The Mexican
property, bro.
Across the way at Old Vera Street.
I didn't do that. This is their property.
Well, you should tell people to stop destroying.
I never touched a small business ever.
Okay.
Never. Only government property. Thank you, sir.
Got you. Fair enough. I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm trying to ask.
Does she have True Religion jeans on? Are those Trues? Trues are still pretty expensive, even if y'all don't necessarily rock them like y'all used to.
I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm trying to ask.
Look at the federal building, y'all. Look at the federal building in Los Angeles. Now, and let me blow this up for you guys because you may not see it. You have police officers that are protecting the inside of the federal building, but all of the windows are spray painted, all of the concrete, all of the different pylon, everything on the federal building has been spray painted. Now, this is Los Angeles. This is Los Angeles. I want to make sure that we all on the same page here. This is Los Angeles. She's doing this in front of the federal officers at a federal building. Right. Exactly. So now, again, I want y'all to understand your mayors, your governors, your city council people, all of these places, when they sit there and tell you, no, everything is peaceful, everything is going well, it's not a big deal, they don't need to deploy the Marines or the National Guard, stand down, ICE agents are safe, all of this stuff. When they sell this to you, I want you to actually know the truth. This is the reason why we don't even believe in mainstream media anymore. We only go based off of what we actually see with our eyes, and then we combine it with a little bit of mainstream media so that we can draw our own conclusions. This is what's happening.
I'm like, what is the point of this? Burn it all down. I mean, that's a crime.
They're right in front of them.
If you burn it all down, you're going to go to prison for the rest of your life. You realize that? Like, the whole thing is like, you want to destroy everything. You're also going to destroy your own life. I'm not really understanding, like...
So the police officers, look at...
Burn it all down. I mean,
look at people walking by talking shit. The police officers are not there to arrest anybody. They are only there to protect and make sure that it's not burned down government property. They're not arresting nobody unless you then do something egregious. They're not stopping private property from being destroyed. They're not stopping even federal buildings from being spray painted and graffiti being thrown all over it. They're not tripping off of that. They giving them a license to be able to do what they want to do. They're giving them a license to be able to do what they want to do. Meanwhile, they are still doing ICE. They still doing immigration. They still doing raids. And I believe that, well, let me save that commentary. Look at these people.
We just heard Homeland Security just banging on the door, and well, they just came in and said that it was a raid and we had to get everybody out of production. And I just went inside production and told everybody, hey, immigration is here, start running. So they just started hiding everywhere. And then they found everyone. They scanned my face. And they didn't take no fingerprints. So they scanned my face and then my information came out. I saw that.
Did they ask for ID?
Yeah, they did ask for an ID. I showed them my ID. And that's when they were putting these bracelets to identify you if you were a U.S. citizen or not. And then they did let me go.
Where are they from?
Honduras.
Are you worried about them being deported?
Oh, yeah.
Honduras?
Of course.
How long have they been here, do you know?
Like 3 years.
Okay. How long have you been here? Were you
my whole life? I was born here. Yeah.
When we got up there, we saw a bus with windows blacked off, and a lot of vehicles that had people who were wearing face coverings that we can presume, I think, are ICE agents. What we also saw was that the Omaha Police Department was supporting and assisting with this, which is something that we had been told as citizens of Omaha that our police department was not going to do. So we were very surprised to see OPD out here.
These people feel compelled to throw rocks, whatever it is that they can find on the ground. They recently charged one illegal migrant with attempted murder for trying to throw stuff at cars. He was throwing a Molotov cocktail at a federal vehicle and federal agents and stuff like that. So make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. We're going to deep dive into this a little bit more. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. What did I do that for? Did I do that? There we go. Turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to continue on with the show. I am Annie Marie says, what up, though, with the super sticker? Thank you, Annie Marie. I appreciate you. Gino Jen in the building says, thank you, Anton. I've been a bag chaser for a few months now, applying your teachings whenever I can. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, too, and shout out to all of the new bag chasers. I'm getting a lot of new notifications, and a lot of y'all saying, you know what, I'm ready to level up. I ain't trying to be dusty no more. Rush King 19 says, funny part is, a lot of the National Guard in Los Angeles and other sanctuary cities have a lot of legal immigrants helping enforcing immigration. Every legal immigrant that I see, they like, yo, we don't want this. We don't want illegal migrants coming over here and tearing up what we got going on. No more excuses, says AD. There are activists and officials here in Detroit who are encouraging people in the community that this is a time for black folks to make history, like during the civil rights movement. A damn shame. Wait a minute. There are activists and officials here in Detroit who are encouraging people in the community that this is time for black folks to make. Listen, bro. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Of all of the cities, of all of the major cities across the United States of America, we not having that here. We not having that here. I don't know if you're familiar with how it is that we do things here in Detroit. This ain't 1967. This ain't even 1993. We're not having that here. We have a zero tolerance for bad actors here in Detroit, both in the community and with law enforcement. We not seeing none of this happen here. We ain't seeing no protests, no riots, no burning, no Molotov. You can do that junk if you want to. Play, fuck around and find out here. This ain't the same as Chicago. We not Los Angeles. We not Chicago. We don't support that nonsense. We support legal migration into the United States of America, and we not playing that here. We doing well. We good. All of our major sports teams is winning, and we enjoying life. We having a good time over here. We having a phenomenal time over here. So take that wherever it is that y'all got and just skip on over, go to the next spot, and chill. We have zero tolerance for the BS. Do all of that. Call to the black community junk if you want to. Facts. This is a no-fly zone. We don't advocate for that. We only care about that's the thing. We care about getting money here. We a money city. We only about hustling. All we care about is hustling, getting to the bag, and having a good time and enjoying our sports teams. We got a lot of festivals that's popping off. The Grand Prix just ended. Afro Future, they used to be called Afro Beats, Afro Nation. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to go to that. We not doing none of that. I heard Kendrick just did a concert. He was running along. I seen footage of him running along the Riverwalk. It was all cool. Wasn't no problems or none of that. He ain't need extra security or nothing. We not doing none of that. You're going to have to think your way through the situation while you're here. You can't participate in none of that BS. Shout out to my girl Molly. Says we're in a different time. They won't be able to get away with things like they did in the George Floyd and the BLM protests. That's a fact. I agree. Can't wait to see Molly tonight. I never touched misdemeanors, just OFs, only felonies. Shout out to Jay Ben. Sean says, Time Dog, do you think this will cause Americans that voted for President Trump and deportations like myself will go out there and fight back against these rioters? To be honest, I'm fed up. No, I don't think that. I have seen some people getting into it with these people. Joshua says, why they blocking traffic and jumping on vehicles like they won't get hit? Would have turned into a Mario Kart power-up, start powering this B. Facts. Let's get off my car. If you throw something. Stay out of it. That's all I'm saying. Stay out of it. Let me continue on with the show. So, that's not what I wanted to talk about. Did I do that wrong? Is that what we want to talk about? 1, 2, 3. Air India. We already did that. I think I might have missed it. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. All right. We here now. All right. So, considering that ICE is actually planning to ramp up protests all across the nation, ramp up arrests all across the nation, including in Los Angeles, Chicago, and more cities. So they're not playing around. The thing about Trump is that you can't bully him. Y'all can protest. You can tear up your own city. You can make yourself a sanctuary city. You can do a lot of things. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to stop these ICE arrests. We getting these people up out of here. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's see what's happening over in Chicago.
Also developing this morning, Mayor Brandon Johnson's team signaling that federal immigration tactical teams could arrive in Chicago as soon as today.
Their deployment comes as new protests are planned in the Loop and just days before a nationwide demonstration that could draw thousands. Our Darius Johnson is live near Grand Park with what we are learning about their arrival and the growing pushback. Good morning, Darius.
Hey there, Chris and Dana. Good morning to you both. Those same ICE tactical teams that we've really seen throughout the city of Los Angeles for days now could soon be right here in the city of Chicago in mini tanks and in riot gear targeting undocumented immigrants. Advocates and community leaders both say they are not waiting to respond. As a response to that, they are holding a press conference this morning and later on marching through the Loop. Take a look. Chicago is one of 5 Democratic-led cities along with New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, and Atlanta expecting these tactical units. The city says it received 48 hours notice and operations could begin as soon as today. Their purpose would be to target the undocumented wherever that may be, including work. Just Tuesday, a 6-hour protest in the Loop ended with 17 arrests, 4 now facing felony charges. Here's what city leaders had to say in the last 24 hours about learning about ICE tactical teams arriving.
We have a tyrant in the White House who has a complete disregard for our Constitution. While federal immigration enforcement have jurisdiction, we want to continue to assure that all Chicagoans know their rights.
The Illinois Coalition for Immigration and Refugee Rights will hold a press conference at 9 o'clock this morning calling for ICE to stand down. Then at 4 o'clock, they will be taking their voices and their signs, whatever they may have, into the Loop where they will be marching. Again, that starts at 4 o'clock. This all comes as the city braces for the ICE tactical teams and also for that No King's Day protest that's expected to take place on Saturday, bringing thousands.
So, aside from him, we're not going to do any ad hominem attacks right now. ICE is rolling out to every single city. They not let, and see, you hearing it right now. You hearing it first. What are they saying? They're telling you, listen, we are planning to come to the city to execute on raids for people that is not supposed to be here and they're here illegally. Because they did the same thing in Los Angeles. They did the same thing across the United States of America. But then you'll have Gavin Newsom that'll sit there and say, oh, no, they never contacted us. They never told us that they was coming in. They do tell y'all that they coming in. Unfortunately, that's probably a bad thing for them because they don't get the same level of protection. The mayors are telling the police to stand down. People are assaulting ICE officers. They're assaulting federal agents. They're not, they're not having peaceful protests and all of these things. So when you see them, then abide by whatever it is requirement that you know. Hey, listen, we coming through there. We got to get some people out of here that ain't supposed to be here. Most of them are child molesters or doing things that they wasn't supposed to do. You know, the majority of those people that they arrested over in Los Angeles, the illegal migrants that they arrested, they had committed some heinous crimes. Sky Jones says, for example, let's look at what Sky Jones says. Sky Jones has a profile picture, so let's evaluate it. Sky Jones says Donald Trump doesn't follow the rules, but wants others to follow them. What rules should others be following that Donald Trump don't follow? Or what rules don't Donald Trump follow that he wants everybody else to follow? Because the first rule that's broken is that you shouldn't be here inside of the United States of America illegally crossing over into our borders. Sky Jones, I like your dimple. Look like you got pretty teeth. I'm asking for more insight. What is it that you don't think that Trump is following that everybody else, he's making everybody else follow? What is it that we missing here, Sky? Give me some insight. I'm not going to criticize her. I think that the chat is my co-host. The chat is my co-host for the show, so I want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. So, Sky, I am looking for a response from you inside of the chat so that we can have a conversation and hopefully we can come to a conclusion that maybe I misunderstood or you misunderstood or anything like that. Let me know. Constitutional rules like what? Like what, Sky? Sky, I tell you what. I'm going to extend an invitation for you. If you want to call in, and you don't even have to be on camera if you want to. If you want to call in and tell me what constitutional rules that Trump is not abiding by, that everybody else is abiding by, then let me know. Because maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I am completely misunderstood, Sky. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. If you decide that you want to call in, you don't even have to be on camera. If you want to be on camera, even better. I would like to know what your thoughts are. And I am open to the possibility that I'm off. This ain't for nobody but for Sky. There you go, Sky. Bam. There you go, Sky. That's for you. So if you want to inform me, I give you 5 minutes to be able to call in and have this conversation. If you want to inform me on what is it that you dislike about Trump and what you think he's doing wrong and what you think that these liberal mayors and governors are doing right, I am open to be able to communicate effectively, and hopefully you give me some insight. This is what adults do, right? We have great conversations. Let's continue.
Hi there and welcome to Meet the Press Now. I'm Ryan Nobles in Washington. As the White House warns of additional military deployments in American cities, with pockets of unrest persisting in Los Angeles, ICE preparing to deploy tactical units to major U.S. cities, and protests against the administration's immigration crackdown spreading across the country. At the White House today, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt doubled down on the president's harsh rhetoric.
The mob violence is being stomped out. The criminals responsible will be swiftly brought to justice. And the Trump administration's operations to arrest illegal aliens are continuing unabated. The position of the Democrat Party is that the federal government is not allowed to enforce our laws and to arrest.
Listen, guys. This is what we're not going to do. Sky is a friend of the show. Sky has a profile picture. Sky has also amicably voiced her displeasure or disposition with the President of the United States of America, which we encourage people to not operate in an echo chamber here. What we're not going to do is we're not going to personally attack her. We're not going to personally attack her. We're going to give her grace, because just because somebody got a different opinion than us does not mean that we have to attack them personally. That we don't need ad hominem attacks for no reason. All right? She didn't say anything about anybody's kids or something like that. We got to grow the fuck up. There's no personal attacks in here. We not doing that. We growing up. All right? She ain't said nobody, nothing to nobody. Y'all gonna have to grow up. Don't do that. I don't know why I got to retrain y'all on how y'all supposed to operate, but we got to grow up. We giving the same energy that everybody else is giving us back. She ain't said nothing crazy. She ain't out of line, and that's not what we gonna do. It's not what we gonna do. Rod B says, wrong show, Sky. We Trump in here. No, we not all Trump. Some people have a difference of opinion. I just so happen to be a Trump fan, and I support almost everything of what he's doing. Some people may be a Trump fan, but that's not what we don't operate in an echo chamber. All right, guys? Come on, y'all. Come on. So if Sky wants to call in and communicate to us what she believes, then we're going to be open to that. Sky, give me a call if you want to. If not, then that's fine too. Let me know that you don't want to call in.
And deport illegal alien criminals. They're attempting to use a violent mob as a weapon against their own constituents to prevent the enforcement of immigration law. This is deeply un-American and morally reprehensible.
Now, we should note there is no evidence that Democrats or any specific organization are behind the protests in Los Angeles or elsewhere. And as we've been noting, the pockets of unrest have so far been contained to a small area in downtown Los Angeles. But the comments came a day after President Trump, in front of thousands of soldiers at Fort Bragg, vowed to liberate Los Angeles from what he described as an invasion.
Under the Trump administration, this anarchy will not stand. We will not allow federal agents to be attacked, and we will not allow an American city to be invaded and conquered by a foreign enemy. I'll say it loudly and clearly. They better do something before it's too late. Very simply, we will liberate Los Angeles and make it free, clean, and safe again.
A defense official tells NBC News that 700 Marines are mobilized and in the Los Angeles area, but are not on the streets yet. But they could be sent out as early as today. A curfew ordered by Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass will remain in effect for a second night tonight for portions of downtown. The LAPD says it made nearly 200 arrests yesterday, more than the total arrests made on the previous 3 days, in what the police chief is calling a concerning escalation in unlawful and dangerous behavior. In a nighttime address, California Governor Gavin Newsom blamed the president for the continued unrest, while issuing this warning to other cities.
California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived. He's taking a wrecking ball to our founding fathers' historic project. 3 co-equal branches of independent government. There are no longer any checks and balances. The founding fathers, they didn't live and die to see this kind of moment. It's time for all of us to stand up.
In New York,
I think that the founding fathers will be absolutely disappointed in the fact that we allow for people to come over here illegally. And I am very much in support of Trump. I'm assuming that Sky doesn't want to come up, and Sky is not interested in having that conversation. And so that's fine. I'm okay with it. As a matter of fact, you know what? For anybody that disagrees with me, if you disagree with me and you actually believe that these raids shouldn't be happening, that ICE is on the wrong side of history right now, that the Trump administration should allow for things to continue to happen the way that it was before he got into office, feel free to call in. I want to have a conversation. I wouldn't mind somebody, only if you disagree with the Trump administration, call in, and I'm okay with that. There you go. For the people that believe that these raids shouldn't be happening, that we are not extending enough empathy and sympathy to the people, and that things are getting out of hand and all of this stuff, I have dropped the link in the chat, and you are more than welcome to express your thoughts to me, because I'm looking to learn today. I'm very much trying to understand why people feel the way that they feel. If I'm off, if they're off, are things happening the way that they're not supposed to? Y'all believe Gavin Newsom? Do you stand with him? Do you stand with Karen Bass? Do you stand with Brandon Johnson? Do you roll with J.B. Pritzker? Are you more of a liberal? Do you believe that this thing is happening the wrong way? How do you see things? I am open to the possibility that I'm off. I just dropped the link in the chat. You're more than welcome to be able to call in. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation, y'all.
This kind of moment, it's time for all of us to stand up.
In New York, meanwhile, the NYPD says it made dozens of arrests at an anti-ICE protest in Lower Manhattan. In Denver, police say they've made 17 arrests outside the state capitol, as our NBC affiliate reports that police deployed smoke and pepper balls to disperse the crowd. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott says that he's deploying the Texas National Guard to locations across the state ahead of protests planned in San Antonio. Meanwhile, NBC News has exclusive reporting that ICE is preparing to deploy its special response teams to 5 cities and regions run by Democrats: Seattle, Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, and the Washington, D.C. area. NBC News correspondent David Noriega joins us again from Los Angeles. Also with me is NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia.
I'm going to a liberal platform to better understand exactly what these people are communicating. So this is from NBC. Very liberal. Very, very liberal.
NBC News chief White House correspondent Peter Alexander, and NBC News senior national security correspondent Courtney Cubie. David, let's start with you. We've been checking in with you all week. Describe what the mood is.
What's going on? This is Anton. What's the word? Turn down your YouTube. Turn down your YouTube.
National Security Correspondent Courtney Keeley. David, let's start with you. We've been checking in with you.
Turn down YouTube, big dog.
Yeah, give me a second, brother. I gotta find remote control. Just got finished eating.
No worries.
What's going on?
This is Anton. What's the word?
Never mind. I just walked upstairs.
So what's going on? What do you disagree with?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
So, in regards to the ICE raids in particular, there's not an issue in regards to rounding folks up. However, the main or the chiefly issue is the due process aspect.
Hold on, give me a second. Do you want to be on the stream or do you just want to do the audio?
No, I'm about to go out here and cut my grass. It look a little rough, brother.
Okay, no, that's cool. We can roll with audio. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So did you hear what I said?
I'm sorry, I missed it. Can you repeat what you said?
Okay, so as far as the roundup is concerned, in regards to violent criminals, no disagreement. However, once like the Constitution states, once you arrive in American soil, to be removed from American soil, then you deserve due process. That's the issue. That's the chiefly issue in inciting all these protests.
So you saying that the Constitution says, and I'm not familiar with this, and I can Google it really quickly. You're saying that the Constitution says that if you arrive on American soil, then there's due process for you to be removed from American soil. So I'm gonna take your word for that, for the sake of conversation.
So you're seeking asylum. So it basically is an amendment. So you're seeking asylum.
That doesn't mean you're seeking asylum because you arrived on American soil.
Well, in essence, that's what you're doing.
No,
when you arrive in
not
American
true.
soil.
That's not
Yes,
true.
yes, sir.
You are not by default seeking asylum just because you arrive on American soil. People can arrive on American soil for a bevy of different reasons. That's not now.
A myriad of reasons. Yes.
Wait. You're inserting your opinion into it now. Now we start to get into where we differ, right? Because we assume, for the sake of conversation, that you're right. Okay, so you have due process, and that's where I want to explore, right? But you can't automatically say that somebody is seeking asylum just because they arrived on American soil.
Okay, so yes, now you're painting with a broader brush. No, of course, it's a myriad of reasons why someone would come to the United States from another country. Yes, you're right.
And even if you seek asylum, you still have to go through the process. There's a process for asylum seekers to be here in the United States of America. You can't just come in.
You're right. So it's numerous documentation that you have to fill out. Yes, everybody understand that. However, this is the chiefly issue with these folks with ICE.
Hold on. Before we get there. So, what is the due process for removing somebody from American soil?
So it's predicated on how did you come in?
Oh, okay. So it's not a blanket thing.
It's not. No. There's no. Okay. You can't paint anything with a broad brush.
Okay, so I'm just going based off of your conversation. All right, so we got due process, and let's say somebody came over here illegally because they trying to get a bag. You know, they trying to take advantage of the opportunities that the United States of America has. Other people had to go through a process and become legalized the right way. Some of the people done it the right way. Other people was finessing the system. All right, so now you came over here to get a bag. What is the due process for removing a person that just came over here illegally, snuck in through the border fence, didn't go through the process of asylum? How do we remove that person?
Well, the process, what they're doing now, basically. So basically, they're doing the ICE raids, which has happened during numerous presidents' tenure. You do the ICE raids. However, with Trump, he's a freaking how can I put this? He's a showman. He wants to show everybody that he's doing something and publicize it. Think about it. They nicknamed Obama the deporter in chief, and he did it quietly. It didn't cause all this ruckus, all this anarchy that's going on. Now this is unnecessary. Basically, you showing your hand. I think you mentioned it before. Oh, ICE lets these various cities know when they're coming in, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? It's a show. It's a show. It's unnecessary. Killers move in silence. Is that correct? I'm sure you heard that analogy before. Killers move in silence. So
I didn't know that there was a right or wrong way to get somebody that has been over here illegally inside of the United States of America.
Well, yes, sir, it is.
Because
yes,
one
sir,
of
it is.
one of the reasons why he's broadcasting this is because he's sending a message to people that are still trying to come over here illegally and letting them know that you won't be treated nicely, you will be removed. And so he's publicly making an example out of people that are skirting the process and doing things illegally so that we don't have more bad actors and people are not incentivized to continue to come over here. Similarly to how they took advantage of how they seen people came over here during the Biden administration. People seeing other people was doing it and they said, okay, me too. I'm coming to get some money. I'm coming to get some food stamps. I'm coming to get some free housing. I'm going to do what I need to do to get over to the United States of America. So the same way that they publicized it during the Biden administration and Trump has allowed for, because see, I don't believe that Trump is just doing it that way. I believe that Trump, when he first started doing it, and I don't know if you remember this, I covered it, when he first started deporting illegal migrants, he allowed for the media to come along to show that they were doing it the right way. They wasn't trying to come after people that's not illegal, all of that stuff. What happened was those same reporters and people started leaking information prior to them actually doing the ICE arrests and the ICE raids. And so they had to remove the media from being able to take pictures and document it and come along for the ride along. So I don't see anything wrong with the documentation, because what that does is it gives us visibility as content creators, you visibility as a United States of American citizen to know what is really going on inside of the country. You don't agree with that?
No, I don't. Once again, it's a show, and it goes by timing. So let's put this on the plate. So this so-called, now I haven't spoke to you in probably over a year and a half. I don't know if you remember me. However, so just think about the time of this. 26 years, United States Army retired, correct?
Okay.
That's me. So in that regard, what is this so-called Flag Day celebration that corresponds ironically with his birthday, and you have our troops with our taxpayers' dollars, even though he says that it's coming out of his pocket, that's a phallus. That's a phallus. All this that's elevating now, especially in Atlanta, LA, soon to be Chicago, Minneapolis. How all of a sudden all this is erupting now on the heels of him bringing our military troops are supposed to be celebrating, the Army's
250
birthday.
years. 250 years.
Come on, man. This is all the foulers, man. This guy is.
So you haven't said anything that he did wrong that you disagree with. You don't.
What you mean?
Only thing that you said is you don't like the show.
No. So I did. You must have missed. It's the due process portion. So
you never explained what the due process is. You said I painted it with a broad brush.
What is due? Okay, so if Anton, if you go out and rob a liquor store, they arrest you. They put you in county jail.
Facts.
You go out on bond. They release you on bond.
Facts.
Guess what?
If I get a
that's
bond.
That's called due process. So,
but here's the thing, though.
In lack of better words, if SA, I'll listen to you. I listen to you. So if SA comes over here, lack of better words, no disrespect, SA comes in with his family. They're working at some type of plant. He gets arrested. Guess what? They round him up. ICE take him to whatever federal facility or institution, whatever. SA is allowed due process from an immigration judge. He or she would, in turn, will say, "Well, SA, guess what? Time to go. Pack your bags. You want to take your family with you? By all means, you guys got to go." That's called due process. This is what's happening. It's not currently what's happening.
That's not what happens. So let me better explain.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what's going on.
Okay, so first of all, you can't compare United States of American citizens due process.
Oh, I knew you was going to say that. That was just an analogy, sir. That was just an analogy.
But it's a bad analogy because it's not a
It's not a bad analogy because it's still a criminal act. So think about it. So
wait.
hold up. So
if this is a if this is a conversation, and then I'll let you talk, and then you don't want to let me talk, you stop me and said, "Hey, let you finish."
It's like tennis. Sometimes the conversation could be like tennis, brother.
Okay, so we're gonna go based off of how you want to do it. Go ahead.
You go. This your platform. This your platform.
You wanted to get it off. Go ahead.
You said I wanted to get off.
So all right. So I'll tell you what. You stop me. You stop me when you feel like you need to stop me. Okay? Because I'm letting you rock out. You can't compare it. It's not a 1-for-1. You can't compare the rights of an American citizen because I deserve and I am afforded due process because I am an American citizen. And it's the same thing for a legal migrant that has come over here to the United States of America. Due process is afforded to people that are doing things or were initially doing things the right way. If you have overstayed your visa, usually there is a request for you to come and visit an immigration site or to contact an immigration judge, right? If you are a person that is a green card holder, doesn't necessarily mean that you're an American citizen. And so there are rules for you to abide by. You cannot break those rules. Otherwise, that green card can be revoked and you can be sent back to your country. There is a process that's associated with that. For people that walk over into the United States of America and just start working, there is no due process. As a matter of fact, I just looked it up and there is an expedited process for you to officially be sent back to the country that you came from, and you don't have to be afforded any due process whatsoever. So that is false.
So
they don't get due process.
What site did you?
They don't get due process in the same way that we do, especially for the ones that have committed crimes inside of the United States of America.
So where you derived your information from? Please, it's in the educational website. Please, so I can get smarter on that subject.
The Vera Institute, EMP Law Firm, and the International Rescue Commission, all summarized. And then there's more sources, and it was all summarized. It specifically highlights the notice to appear, immigration court hearings, right to counsel, right to challenge evidence, and expedited removal, which also includes asylum seekers. And then it goes into more important considerations, including due process varies, legal representation, and ongoing legal challenges. I think that all of those sites are sufficient.
Okay, so just now think about what you just said. So you took out one block of that and you lumped it into everything. Mm. So with that said, those individuals. So answer this question. I think this is going to make better sense. How does ICE know what individuals to target?
Usually they get tips from other people. So one of the things that I was going to cover.
So hold on.
Give me a second.
So you telling me?
Usually it's a bevy of different ways. Give me a second. You asked the question. Let me answer it. Usually they get a bevy of different information from different people. So one of the ways in which they get it is a tip line, right? So they have to verify it. The second way that they get information is a lot of these same migrants, these illegal migrants, have already been arrested and they're verified as a system as undocumented. So that's why Tom Homan and Trump first said that the first people that we're going to go after are people that are committing crimes in the United States of America because they're the easiest to target. And we already know that they're undocumented and they're illegal inside of the United States of America.
But that didn't happen.
It did happen.
No, it did not.
It absolutely did not. The people that were just arrested in Los Angeles, they were child molesters. There were people that committed crimes. There were people that absolutely positively. And as a matter of fact, I think you should really spend more time focusing on Democrats' inability or their unwillingness to work with the Trump administration or ICE, because what Brandon Johnson, with J.B. Pritzker, with Gavin Newsom, with Karen Bass, with Kathy Hochul, with all of these Democrat mayors and governors, what they basically said is that they're unwilling to work with ICE on if people get arrested, illegal migrants get arrested for committing crimes. They're unwilling to work with ICE as far as calling them to make sure that they get these criminals outside of the United States of America. So we're spending time on the wrong thing. You spending time trying to figure out whether or not they're doing it the right way. I'm trying to understand whether or not they should be here in the first place, because we spending our tax dollars, our healthcare coverage, our police, because, it's more than just, hey, how much are we giving them? There's resources, there's school resources, there's classrooms, there's police services,
Right.
there's social services. All of these things that we can't even quantify that is going over to illegal migrants, not to mention healthcare, hospital stays, kids that they haven't, all these things that's taking resources from American taxpayers. So instead of you holding your legislators accountable in these Democrat cities and these sanctuary cities and saying, why are you not calling ICE and making sure that these people that are doing things against us is getting deported? They've already pledged not to. Why would they do that? You so busy mad at Trump for actually doing the thing that we voted for him to do, instead of you care more about the optics of it instead of caring about whether or not they should be here legally in the first place. You a black man. Why do you hold on.
So
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Let me respond before you go. Let me respond to what you just said.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me respond to what you just said.
You can respond to it, but let me throw another question there for you, because I really want to know this.
Okay, so
you as a black man,
I got a Rolodex in my head, but
as a black man, as a person that works, that served this country, that paid your taxes.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you got kids or not, whatever. Why do you care about people that don't even care about you, that's in this country illegally sending money back to their people in their own country?
You hit it right on the head, my brother, because I am a black man, and I've seen so many black men especially not get the proper due process, or are basically overcharged or over sentenced for bull crap crimes.
So why you not focused on that?
Here's the reason.
Why
because
you
paint me with a broad brush. But that's why.
Migrants?
That's why. So any unjust.
Black people that is legally in this country, especially when it comes to birthright citizenship, people that are African descendants of slaves, we not the same as people that came over here illegally.
I didn't say that. Now you misquoting me.
On what they got going on.
Hold up. Stop, brother. You won't do that.
Reform, sentencing,
Anton,
the Innocence Project. Why don't you care about that?
AD, you won't do that, brother. I did not make a comparison by no means. However, I did say, as a black man, and have seen plenty of black men, especially, not get due process. You have to feel how it feels. And for you to call yourself a Christian, which is absolutely insane to even think that a human being, which they are. Now, trust me, I understand the criminal aspect of it. Hell no, especially in regards to molesting kids. Hell, I think I'm a person, and you can call me what you want. I think you deserve the damn death penalty if you put your hands on a kid. That's just my. However, that's how I feel in regards to that. So once again, I'm going to spin off back to a topic that you brought up, as far as the sanctuary cities are concerned. So you have this bullcrap governor in Florida, in Texas, in Louisiana that exacerbated this issue. Because guess what? When those folks came in across the borders, especially in Texas and Arizona, instead of shipping these folks into the interior of our country, what makes it more difficult and more more costly to get these folks out of here, instead of leaving them down there in Texas, Arizona, that exacerbated this problem to get where we're at today.
I think you got your information wrong. You got your
Say it
information
again?
wrong. You have your information
Oh
wrong.
my goodness!
Texas
So you
was
tell
literally
me.
sued by the Biden administration. Hold on, let me educate you.
Hold
You
up.
may not be familiar with this.
Brother,
Texas was
damn.
Texas
Okay,
was
go.
sued. Texas was sued by the Biden administration to leave their borders
Oh
open.
Lord.
There was literally
Yes, but but I didn't say that. I didn't
But what I'm
say
saying
that.
is that they couldn't
I did
do
not
what you're
say.
saying that they should do.
Speaking about a
because
whole
they
different.
had handcuffs
You're
on
speaking
them.
about a whole different topic.
Okay, I'm speaking about.
You're speaking
different-
about.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish your thought. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So once again, if wouldn't have shipped those folks into the interior of America, we wouldn't. They basically exacerbated this issue to the fullest, plain and simple. And
So
so who says
Texas,
God said follow the laws of the land?
that is literally God said
What in
follow the
that
laws of the land.
have to do
So
with
for you
treating somebody as what the hell does that have to do with treating somebody as a human being?
because
Really?
you specifically said because
God said
I'm a
get some
Christian.
education before. God said get some education before you speak. That's what God
said. God said get an
understanding. I'm just
what
joking.
God
I'm
said,
just joking, bro.
He didn't say
I'm
get
just
education.
joking.
He said
I'm just joking.
get understanding in everything that you do. And he did
I'm
say
just
follow
joking.
the rules and the laws
Just
of the
joking.
land. The rules
I'm
and the
just
laws of the
joking. Yes.
land is that you should not be over here illegally, and we can't do this in any other place in the world. But for some reason, they're supposed to pull on our heartstrings, and we're supposed to allow for lawlessness inside of the United States of America. So people can come in when they want to.
This is what made this country great,
want
brother.
to. No, it's no.
This what made this.
You keep on conflating.
Immigrants is what made this country great. Immigrants is what made this country great.
Arguments. The fact of the matter is this: you're not making a strong
I'm not conflating
argument.
anything.
You're not.
Am I wrong? Am I right or wrong?
You're wrong.
Am I right or wrong?
You're wrong.
Am I right or wrong? Immigrants is what made this country great.
You're wrong. What you're trying to do is you're conflating arguments, and you keep on trying to justify. Are you gonna let me finish the sentence?
95% of the individuals that you're going to run into is an immigrant to this country. 95% are their ancestors or immigrant to this country. Hence the reason why I say immigrants made this country great. Now, once again, we can get back on. No one is basically saying that it should be illegals here.
I'm sorry, you breaking up? Say it again.
Yeah, I got a phone call.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Never mind. So once again, 95% of the individuals that you're going to run into are to this country. Immigrants made this country great, plain and simple.
Are you an immigrant?
So let me finish. So
no, I'm not gonna keep letting you finish.
One of my chief.
Hold on, wait. You keep on telling me to let
Hold up,
you
brother.
finish.
You get on the rampage and you speak for 30 minutes. So my issue
since we got
my chiefly issue is this. My chiefly issue. Let me finish rocking, and then I'm going to let you go.
You're going to let me go. Okay.
My chiefly issue is this. So you have all these immigrants that's coming in, and this is what they are: illegal aliens coming in from Canada. You just brought some in from South Africa, which is absolutely insane. Those folks are not getting rounded up. So why are you rounding brown folks instead of the other folks?
All right.
So answer that question, sir.
Okay. First of all, everybody is being rounded up. I just did a report on Asians that are being rounded up, and on Haitians that are being rounded up. And the first thing that we have to say is I hate it when people continue to conflate arguments because they want to make this black and brown thing. There is no black and brown thing.
Oh, Lord.
People.
Okay.
You don't want to let me finish?
I'm just curious because why you keep going to it's not a racial thing. It's not a racial thing.
You just asked me a racial question.
I did not ask you a racial question. I asked you simply, why are they rounding up all the brown folks and not sending the Canadians specifically? Why they're not rounding them up? And then you retorted with, and then your retort was they're rounding up Asian folks and they're rounding up
I didn't get a
Haitians,
chance to finish
which is what color? Which is brown and black folks. So what are you talking about, brother?
I didn't get a chance to finish.
Oh my God.
Listen,
okay, go man.
Listen. You gotta lower your voice and strengthen your argument. Just because you talk loud, just because you over talk, and I'm not gonna censor you, that does not make your argument stronger. The fact of the matter is this: when we get
the context makes it stronger. The context makes it strong.
The fact of the matter is this: when it comes back down to it, first, from a personal perspective, I don't know why you're so adamant about defending people that is taking resources away from you, your community, where you live at, and American taxpayers. This ain't even your fight. This ain't got nothing to do with you. And as a matter of fact, this is not something that we should be divided upon when it comes to how it is that we feel about politics, whether you Democrat, Republican, whatsoever. This ain't got nothing to do with you. at all. This don't benefit you. Them being here don't help you. You get nothing from this. That's the first thing. The second thing is,
brother, I know you do a
says,
lot of coaching calls, but you can't tell a grown man how to think. Okay, continue.
if you want a rebuttal, right, just let me finish. I promise you, I am going to give you the space to be able to say whatever you want to say. All right. But you got to let me finish a thought.
Okay.
Got to let me finish a thought. The second thing is,
if you had a thought, I'll let you finish. If you had a thought, I'll let you finish it, brother. But continue on. Or if you had a conducent thought, I would let you finish it. But continue on.
If I had a what thought?
A conducent, a logical, because you can't tell an individual what type of fight they're going to fight. So that's not a logical. So that's not a conducive thought. It's not at all. Let's go.
All right. You know what? You're right. I give up. You're right. I concede. You're right.
Thank you.
So what do you think we should do now going forward? You won.
In regards to what?
You won. And I think that you're 100% right. So now what should we do? What should we allow to happen? How should Trump go about approaching this situation going forward?
Well, I think he still should continue on in regards to what he's doing. However, it shouldn't be so publicized, and he should give these folks due process. That's what I said initially. I said initially he's making a spectacle out of something. When I initially said Obama was. Do you recall all this conversation, or I was just blowing hot air?
Go ahead. You can answer the question. I'm not interrupting you.
Was I blowing hot air, or is that what I not said?
You don't need my validation. You don't need my validation. You said don't give my opinion about you. I'm asking you, how do you think that we should go about continuing to do this? And so I just want you to complete your thought.
Okay. So once again, for the people in the back, I said he should continue. However, don't make it so public and allow these folks to get due process.
Mm-hmm. And what does due process look like for illegal migrants? That's not.
I explained that.
I know, but I'm
already.
I'm slow.
I'm not going to spend my.
Give me a little bit. Give me a little bit.
You spinning.
Give me a little bit.
You spinning my wheels. I've already said it. I'm not going to go back and repeat. You're spinning my wheels.
No. For illegal, undocumented migrants that just walked across the border, didn't seek asylum, never filed for paperwork, and they are out here. Some of them criminals, some of them not criminals. What exactly does due process look like? Once Trump arrests them, once ICE arrests them, and they take them to a detention facility, and they do it quietly, right? And they're not making a big spectacle about it. Then what happens?
So once again, okay. For you. So they're taken to the facility.
Mm-hmm.
They go in front of an immigration judge, and he or she determines what happens next. That's what should happen. Okay. I said that. That's called due process. It can be expedited, or it can be elongated. However you want to do it. However, that's what should happen.
Okay. Anything else that you want to add into the conversation?
I think I've made I just, once again, you haven't touched on the basis in regards to why black and folks are basically getting rounded up and none from North America.
I conceded.
Say it again.
I conceded.
You just quit? You're not a quitter, brother.
I didn't quit. I said I conceded. You educated me, and so now I agree with you.
Yeah, give me some edification.
No. Hold on. Wait a minute. Do you want me to
some edification in regards to that?
You want me to disagree with you just for the sake of disagreeing with you?
No, sir. I don't want you to disagree with me, but I know you're being sarcastic. Is what I'm saying.
I'm not being sarcastic. I concede.
Okay. All right.
So, I appreciate you for coming on the show. You have been very respectful. I think that I value you as a watcher of the platform, And I think that you're awesome. And so I enjoyed the conversation.
Hey, likewise.
All right, my friend. Have a good one. And there you have it. Maybe I'll take a caller a day. All right. I don't know if you guys, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. Do you think that Anton should take a caller a day? Do you think that Anton should take a caller a day? And let people communicate their thoughts if they disagree with me. Y'all let me know inside of the let me hear y'all inside of the chat. Before I read super chats and I go over to the next subject, y'all let me know what y'all think. Gigi Jones says, let me read some of y'all comments. Gigi says, Gigi, did I miss you? Here you go. I just learned so much. AD, you can't win. Clearly, we see through this, and there's nothing about what he said that makes sense. Okay, well, that's your opinion. Y'all say yes, yes. Some people say, one person said no. Jesse says no. Don't lie to him. AD, he was respectful. He was very respectful. He was passionate. Bring back the call-ins, but only one. I'll do one a day. I'll try to do one a day. He was very respectful. What's going on here? It's not open? Hold on, give me a second. It's open. Is that for me? No. Snaps. Somebody sent me a gift. Thank you. I appreciate you. Shout out to y'all. Y'all hold me down. I appreciate it. What is this? Salary collection. Oh, snaps. Happy Father's Day. I'm going to have to open this up off camera. Thank you. That's dope. That's dope. I appreciate it. Yeah, people sending me gifts. I appreciate it. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna do one call. Let me give you my thoughts on the last caller. And then we're gonna go over to the next thing. So I believe that he was respectful. I think he was passionate. And the thing about it is, I think that we have to be able to differentiate the difference between somebody being disrespectful and somebody being passionate. Just because somebody is passionate about their thoughts or they're saying whatever it is that they're saying doesn't mean that they're not respectful. He is very respectful. He is a nice person. He was just passionate about what it was that he was arguing. Now, we disagreed. We fundamentally disagreed, and maybe the communication could have been more effective, but it doesn't mean that he was disrespectful. He never called me out of my name. He never said that I was dumb. He never said that I was stupid. He didn't throw any ad hominem attacks. And so, again, we may be not agreed, but it doesn't mean that he was disrespectful. He was very respectful. He's a very cool person, and I applaud him for even calling in. So shout out to him. He was not disrespectful at all. He was very respectful. And that's why I thanked him for calling in at the end. I'm learning. It's no reason. It's no reason for us to be upset at anything. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, shout out to him. And we'll do a caller tomorrow. Based off of whatever it is that we talking about. We'll do a caller tomorrow. All right, y'all. Let me read some of the super chats, and then we're going to continue on with the show. Okay, I thought that was a good call. It was a good call. Haven't taken a call on this channel in a long time. Daddy Day Trip says it's quiet in Paramount now. Just drove through. Shout out to my dog Day Trips out there in Los Angeles. Also says part 2. Just us, U.S. Marines, and a big A American flag. See, Trump did get some control in, right? This is annexation. This is annexation at its best, says Jawad. Thank you, Jawad. Daryl English says, what up, though? I appreciate you, Daryl. Lewis McCaskill says, can any Democrat explain objectively why they think people can cross the border illegally without repercussions and why Dems defend those that do? I don't think anybody can explain it at all. Daryl English also says, hello, AD. I'm new to the Bag Chasers. Shout out to the Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I currently have my own LLC, and I'm particularly interested in learning more about investing in stocks and real estate. Where would you recommend that I begin? Right after the first one, because the last one that we did had something to do with content creation. So anything Stock Club or Block Club related, you can just go right through it. There's some great information in there. Congratulations and thank you for rocking out with us. 80 says, me too. Chicago mayor, don't start using the Constitution now. You and many other Dems with ex-president broke plenty of laws. Red Cup Talks. My girl Mika says, Obama, he went around Congress and built the cages. Turtle Island says, folks gonna always be mad just because Trump stand on business. Also says, so people gonna excuse a house robber if they start doing the chores. That's a really great analogy. Just Christian says, why do we have to use due process to send them home? When they didn't use due process to enter illegally, using that process. I agree with you. Just Jew Shiesty says, I like how illegals commit tax evasion, identity fraud, but we don't talk about it. Yeah, we do. I talked about it on Jason Whitlock yesterday. They either get paid under the table or are working under a fake or stolen social security number. Both federal crimes, by the way, and all they get to do is go back to their hometown. Carrington Love Jr. says, all of the after hours guys love Molly. The host is the real fine one. Let me on the panel, Anton. Carrington, what you mean let you on the panel? Send me an email. Courtney Smith says a lot of the legal immigrants are snitching on the illegals for that bag too, and they should. Prosperity said, got the super sticker. Thank you, Prosper Realty. I appreciate you. Rush King says to the caller, if you are here illegally for say 20 years and immigration never allow you a citizenship, you get deported if you caught without papers. Tabby, what up, Tabby? I got your message too. Says respectfully, the caller said you go out how you came in. So that would mean that you came in illegally without doing the process. Then that means no due process. That's fair. I think that's fair. KB in the building says, dude argument is equivalent to when your girls say, but this is the way you said it. Their due process is a free ride back to their country, and that's fair. Mr. Joe says crossing the borders without papers is a crime. Abe the Hunter says, instead of people saying you're a victim in 2025, it's you're emotional. 27 in the building says caller is a special kind of stupid. Quarterboy says black liberals all sound the same when it comes to defending illegals here being here. I've yet to hear one of them speak on Larisha Thompson, a black mother of two that was killed by 6 illegals in Lancaster, South Carolina. Talk about it. You have God level patience, Anton. I'm an immigrant and he is wrong. They gone, says Danavan or Davanan. Shout out to Davanan. I appreciate you. We have to learn patience. I've been praying for patience more with God. Immigrants and illegal immigrants are not the same thing. Just Christian says, immigrants made the country great. I guess that includes colonizers. They too immigrated from somewhere. 392Q says, go mow grass, brother. Denise is in the building, says, poor guy misinformed. He talks too much. Randy K says, good morning, Anton. What up, Randy? I appreciate you. Gentlemen in chat, respectfully, our country is great because of our veterans who make the sacrifices to protect this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. God bless everyone. I agree. Rush King says, getting caught without a citizenship is like getting caught with a suspended license. They can arrest and charge you if caught, plain and simple. They can, absolutely. King, shout out to King to all, says, yo, get Paul. He fighting civil rights for illegal immigrants. Courtney Smith says he argues almost worse than a woman. Hey, I'm not saying this. This is what the chat is saying, big dog. JG says, AD, next time, make them video call in. They don't need to hide behind the phone. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. If they want to call in on the phone or if they want to be on the stream, I'm accommodating to both. Get this disrespectful dummy off the phone, says Manuel AG. Michelle says, I need Americans to cape for Americans. We have real problems. 60% of us cannot handle a 1K emergency. Get them people gone so we can get to work on what really matters. Postal Mogul is in the building and says the Korean market, H-Mart, got hit by ice in Philly. King comes back and says, you can't say it's not about race, waving other countries' flags in another country while begging to stay. Jerry in the building says, I'm losing brain cells listening to this caller. JJ says, you haven't made a conducive thought all day. Tabby in the building says, suggestion to the caller, let every man be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. James 1:19. Your patience was phenomenal, AD. J. Ben says, this is a masterclass in why OGs are effing trash. Jesus, y'all going in today. Anton, you are debating with Boyce, long lost brother. Well, that wasn't a debate. It was supposed to be a conversation. My opinion on him is he's blowing hot air, says Denise. What up, Denise? What up, Denise? What up, D? Kelsey Clark in the building. I appreciate you, Kelsey. Sonny Robinson says, my bloodline has been here 20 generations before America became America. My integration came through force. Dude is tripping on the blood of my forefathers, no black and brown. Yeah, we need to do away with this whole black and brown conversation. King to all says, get rid of this old ninja. This great platform, he sounds like Robert Downing on Tropic Thunder. Wesley Turner says, immigration judges already issued the orders for deportation. ICE only shows up after the due process was issued. That's a phenomenal point. I didn't get to make that, but we here. It's okay. Rob Rosario says, Deuteronomy 43 and 44 is all you need to know. Ronnie is in the building, says, that call was the biggest waste of time in Millionaire Morning Show history. Nothing was learned from that fella. Oh, plenty was learned. Plenty was learned. Louis McCaskill says, Dems overtalk when they have no logical rebuttal to a legit question that exposes their mistakes on the side. Can be a caller, OG? Can I be a caller, OG? Maybe tomorrow. If you disagree with me on something that I talk about tomorrow, then you can be a caller. He's not making sense and jumping all over the place. I live in Texas, and there was no way we could have kept all of those illegal people down here. Abbott said the sanctuary cities want them. Y'all use some money to care. Use y'all money to care for them. Shout out to Politi. I don't know. New Age Trucking with Hefe says, you and that dude was just comedy gold, huh? Well, I aim to entertain y'all. Rahi Dash says, we appreciate the caller, but he didn't let you get a thought off. Best morning show ever. I'm black, and I wish black people would stop caping for this BS. Due process is not for illegals. Fun fact, caller, California alone has roughly 900,000 undocumented people. Due process, get the F out of here. The Gray Way says Bruce Lee Ward was no longer the master. AD Patience was masterful. Rock says illegal immigrants do not get to see a judge. Anton clearly isn't disagreeing with you anymore because arguing with Dems is draining. Caller is a Nimrod. Don't you call back in. I'm late to the party. I'll rewatch, says E.B. Miles Davis. Well, listen, let me say this. When you're having a conversation or a debate with somebody, it's not always necessary for you to try to prove your point. My father always says, listen, do you want to be right or do you want to actually be meaningful? Do you want this conversation to be meaningful? Because sometimes it doesn't take for you to try to prove a point. I don't have to always necessarily get my thoughts off in order to make my argument. I think my argument was made for me. This is what I want guys to learn from this conversation, all right? Because this is bigger than immigration, and I'm going to go into my next subject right after this. The biggest learning lesson that we got from this is that when you think your way through something, when you start to be logical, when you take a step back and you take inventory of whatever circumstance or conversation that you're in, you can make a better decision. I don't always have to necessarily be right. I don't always have to get my thoughts off. I don't always have to necessarily prove anything to anybody. I think that the conversation was proven and it was shown at the end of the conversation. It was shown at the end of the call. I said, okay, well, what is it that you want done? And then he agreed with me. Oh man, I don't want Trump to do anything differently. Just be quiet about it. Interesting. Interesting. Fellas, understand this. It's not always necessary to be right. You don't always have to speak. Sometimes you just realize, you know what? Wait a minute. This is going exactly how it is that I thought that I think it should go. It's working out in my favor, even though it's not necessarily the thing that I think that should be happening right now. Sometimes you just got to take a step back. Wait a minute. Okay. And what did I tell y'all that I do in real life? You got it. You right. I agree. And then you just ask questions. Okay, so what do you think we should do? How should we handle this? What will be best? And sometimes they tell you exactly what you want to know when you let them talk. Let them talk. It doesn't always necessarily have to be me having to make my point or put my stamp on it and being right. No, it's a conversation. Let's just let it rock. All right, y'all. Let's get to it. I'm going to continue to read Super Chat shortly. Let's get over to the next subject that we had lined up. I'm not on no time frame, so I can stream as long as I want. I can talk as long as I want. We can have this conversation and we can keep it rocking. All right? Yeah, I'm working on it, Lions. I'm working on it. I've been doing this a long time. It may take me a little bit longer to get there, but I get there. I'm going to get there. I'm going to learn. I'm going to figure it out. Protesters, do you guys think that they're paid? Do you guys think that the protesters are being paid? The large majority, or do you think that people are just organically out there protesting, tearing up government buildings, throwing Molotov cocktails, all of that? Do you guys think that protesters are being paid? This is where I got all of my information at, by the way. Do you guys think that protesters are being paid? Let me know what you think. All right. Let's deep dive into it a little bit, y'all.
After days of this intense movement, many people, including President Trump, are wondering who's supporting some of these rioters. Senior national correspondent William LaJeunesse is in Los Angeles with that aspect of the story. And look, William, if people just thought, oh, maybe that's imagination, there's video. There are receipts for this.
Yeah, I mean, the money's got to come from somewhere, right? I mean, sure, it's hard to turn out several thousand people on any given night. And so you're going to have the water, the riot gear, the coordination to get out all these demonstrators. You have criminals, you have professional agitators, and activists who support a variety of left-wing issues, and they'll take any opportunity to bash the administration. So one group behind the demonstrations is CHIRLA, Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights. The IRS document shows $34 million in government grants, including 3 from President Biden's DHS for $750 grand. President Trump cut that off. It also gets state and city grant money for lawyers to fight deportations. CHIRLA spends $10 million a year on salaries, including $200,000 for the director, Angelica Salas.
We are asking that every...
Wait. They spend $10 million a year on salaries? This is why y'all got to be careful what y'all donate to. Just because it's listed as a nonprofit, there's so much wrong with this conversation already. Just because they're listed as a nonprofit does not mean that the money actually go to any causes. You are paying for people to do whatever it is that they want to do and to live a lavish lifestyle. You are paying for people to do whatever it is that they're going to do, whatever they want to do, and to live a lavish lifestyle. $10 million in salaries. And that's not even the worst of what he just said in the report. The worst part of the report is that they basically said that they were receiving government federal funds. So your taxpayer dollars was going to fund these people that are basically funding all of this stuff that's happening in the streets, protests, problems, issues, troubles. Some of it went to the director and all of this stuff. Man, this is why we wanted to get to the government, the Department of Government Efficiency, because we wanted to see where the money is going. If you ever want to solve for a problem or you ever want to understand where the issues are, follow the money. That's why we call this the Millionaire Morning Show, because we're going to traverse different subjects, but we still got to figure out where it comes back down to the money. The money is where the play is. The money is where the play is. 10 million in salaries, bro. 10 million? 10 million in salaries.
Everybody that got arrested today be released. That's right. We want them in their houses with their families, with their children.
Churla also founded the Rapid Response Network. That's the hotline immigrants use to report ICE raids. It will then text these alerts so immigrants can go hide and activists can stop ICE operations.
And so I was in a room yesterday morning, meeting with the immigrant rights organizations, and all of a sudden everybody's cell phones started blowing up. That's when we all heard about a raid that was taking place in Whittier.
So another organizer is SEIU. You see the purple there. They have 700,000 members. The union turns out big numbers. Others are simply there to bash capitalism.
We are the real workers. The working class is the one that builds this country. Yet it's the billionaires in power that continue to harass us and attack us and take absolutely everything from us.
Operation Healthy Hearts, according to the New York Post, handed out face shields and riot gear to protesters. Now, their kits include a lawyer's phone number to get out of jail, and some of these groups could face prosecution for aiding and abetting.
I did a video where a guy was basically, because think about this for a second. Yo, if you go through and you look at some of this stuff that's happening in the United States of America, and you look at some of these signs, protest LA, just basic stuff, right? So for example, if I go through and I look at a protest in LA or whatever, and let me see if I can find it again. Something like this, right? Something like this. And I'm gonna put this on my screen really quickly. So if I look at something like this, right? ICE out of LA. Usually, if it's an organic protest, people have their own homemade signs. They might have a leader that have a bullhorn. It's a lot of things that may happen, right, during a protest. A lot of things that may happen during the protest. But you don't have this level of organization this quickly. You don't have these quality of signs. Who is making these signs? Who's passing this out? Who are these people that have all of these T-shirts on? How are people taking pictures? How did it organize so well? Who got the bullhorn? Who didn't got the microphone? Who didn't got the speaker, the loudspeaker? How did they end up here? How did they do this and all of that? And you just got to be asking yourself this question. Like, if you just use your context clues, what do you mean ICE out of LA? Yeah, they're using the Dodgers font and stuff like that. What do you mean? And I see stuff like this happen all the time. And I'll be like, wait a minute. How did they get such well thought out, look at this, well thought out, organized signs and taglines, and people is all out here, and then ICE out of our communities. Look at this. Look at this nonsense. You start to deep dive into it, you're like, wait a minute, what? Where did they all get these masks from? And why do they have water? Who's handing out water and paychecks? Education, not deportation. Where is all of this? Flags. It's just all of a sudden everybody got a flag. Amazon, you go on Amazon, ain't no flags on Amazon, but everybody got a flag all of a sudden. I don't see an American flag nowhere in sight. But everybody is organized. Everybody is on point, taking care of business, protesters, people that ain't even Mexican, people that ain't even getting arrested, none of this stuff. Next thing you know, it just sweep the nation. Chicago, organized. Seattle, organized. Philly, organized. It just be everywhere. And in 2 days' time, it be everywhere. 2 days' time. And I just be like, you know what? Y'all not going to just keep on fooling me. Hell no, you're not just going to convince me that people just so happen to wake up and walk out of their house and everybody just ended up at the same place at the same time. Get the hell out of here, bro. Get the hell out of here. I'm not going for this nonsense.
They might think they're making the community
They
safer.
know how to get out of jail. They all got the same lawyers. Okay.
They're not. And we won't put up with that, and we're going to take criminal action against those type of organizations.
So the bottom line is here is California is loaded with nonprofits that feed off taxpayer money. They can turn on a crowd in minutes, and we're seeing that here, now that coordination in other cities. Back to you.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, even some of the stuff that I've seen some marches here in Detroit, and I actually stopped one. Remember when they was doing the whole protest against Elon Musk and the Tesla dealerships and stuff like that? And I was stopped at a light. And it's the honest to God truth. I was stopped at a light. And I had just got my Cybertruck wrapped. And they was standing on the corner and there was a bunch of white people. And it was like, you could tell, you can tell people that know the city and people that don't know the city. It's people that have lived in downtown, it's people that lived in Detroit. For all of my people in the chat that's watching this from Michigan and in Detroit, it's people that live in Detroit, that grew up here, that don't even know how to get around downtown. They don't know nothing about the city. I know people that was born and raised in Detroit and they don't know nothing about how to get around downtown. They still got to use maps. So the people that are down here, or the people that usually live, work, and play downtown, they all kind of move a little bit differently. We can spot an out-of-towner. We can spot somebody that's from the suburbs. We can spot somebody that's not from here. Most of the time they ask certain questions. They talk a certain way. We can spot them. And so when they start talking and it was like, yeah, I don't like your Cybertruck. And I just told them, I said, bitch, I don't like you either. And please don't make me get out of the truck. Well, we can talk about it. Oh, now you want to talk about it. I said, I know y'all not even from here. Y'all not even from here. They was organizing. They was all in a group getting their marching orders. They was on a corner about to get their marching orders, and there was a bunch of people that didn't even remotely look like they was from here. They don't know Woodward from Congress. They don't know John R. from Woodward. And they come down here and they march and they do all of this stuff or whatever, so on and so forth, whatever. They do all of this stuff on a regular basis. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you too. I know who this Happy Father's Day is from. I know where it's from. Yep. This is all you. This is from you. I know where it's from too. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for sending me the gift. I appreciate you. But I think that these people are all paid. They all protesters. They all paid. And I'm not rocking with them. I'm not rocking with them whatsoever. Let me continue.
Joining us now is Oversight Committee member of Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. Congresswoman, looking at this chaos, who's funding it and why are they funding it?
So it's actually being funded by a billionaire by the name of Neville Singham. He's actually funding a group called the Party for Socialism and Liberation, which if you look online, they are a communist organization. What they're doing is they are using Hispanic Americans the way that BLM used Black Americans during these riots, and frankly, the way that Code Pink, which is also funded by the CCP, is using Palestinians. So what they're trying to do is they're using this to usher in Marxism. But it's important to note that actually when you find and you follow the money trail, Mr. Singham is actually largely funded by the Communist Chinese Party. So House Oversight has issued and will be sending a letter this Friday with all members of Oversight calling Mr. Singham to testify before Congress. If he does not appear and does not provide documents, he will then be held in contempt of Congress and he will be prosecuted by the Department of Justice. We are not playing. This is a different administration. We have the Department of Justice. And if you interfere with American politics and are a foreign agent, you will be held accountable.
Congresswoman, just take a listen to President Trump and his orders to the Department of Justice that they will be looking into those left-wing groups fueling the violence in Los Angeles. Take a listen.
The agitators are throwing firebombs, Molotov cocktails, lighting vehicles ablaze, and attempting to infiltrate and occupy federal buildings wearing armor and face shields. The best money can buy, somebody's financing it. We're going to find out through Pam Bondi and Department of Justice who it is. They're already on it. Who's financing all this equipment? Very professional.
I would expect that the DOJ is going to get to the bottom of that.
Well, we are also assisting, and we already have the receipts. I can tell you that there is significant financial money trails. All you have to do is follow the money. Remember, so Neville Singham is actually financing the LA riots, but there's also other groups coming in. But they have different ideological perspectives, some backed by Soros that are globalists, and then obviously the Marxist organizations. But remember, this is a color revolution, right? They're using these immigrants as a guise for their real objective and goal here. And frankly, it's nothing different than what happened in the summer of love during the BLM riots right before the election. They're doing the same thing before the midterms, and Democrats are trying to get the Hispanic vote, so that's why they're using Mexican flags.
Yeah, this is all planned. I believe that a lot of these people are paid to protest. If you go out there and you start having a conversation with a lot of these people, they 100% are being paid to protest. I was reviewing a video yesterday of a guy that said that he was offered $200 a day. Some people are saying that they getting offered way more than that. Have y'all heard anything about this? That some of these people are saying that they getting these crazy offers to protest? And some of them are taking it because they ain't got no money. And they saying, yo, I'm dusty, I ain't got no money, I got problems or whatever.
The organization was called No Kings. They said June 14th.
Let me see if I can get this up on the screen really quickly. Some people are saying thousands. They offering thousands. Really?
For $200 a day to go protest ICE in New York. The organization was called No Kings. They said June 14th, we're going to be protesting, and these are the streets that you need to be on, and this is what you need to do. You need to cause chaotic disruptions, and they said that there's going to be pallets of like bricks and different things everywhere that protesters could use. They really want to wreak havoc. It's kind of ridiculous. Me as an American, although I need the money, I'm like, this is very, very unpatriotic. If I was to go take this money and go protest, it's
so
not
as much
very
as $1,200.
It's not what I stand for. It's obviously not even, worth the time. But, $200 a day is what they're paying people to go protest.
Some people are saying, no, $200 ain't enough. I got better things to do. Well, yeah, because you're a productive human being and you got a job and you're a tax-paying citizen and you taking care of business. But what about for somebody that ain't got no money, that ain't got nothing better to do? Maybe they laid off, whatever. They need a couple extra dollars. How do you solve for that? Yo, I need a couple extra dollars. What do you mean? I give somebody an extra $10 on top of whatever I tip them in DoorDash. You'd be like, oh man, you ain't have to do it. Thank you. You ain't got to do it. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. It's been absolutely awesome. Thank you, sir. What do you mean? People all the time. All the time, man. You'd be surprised what people will do for $20 or for $200. You'd be surprised what somebody would do for $200. You'd be surprised. Go out there and crash out if you want to. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats and see what y'all talking about. Illegal entry into the United States needs to be a felony. I agree. He tried to pull rank. You're retired. Embarrassing. Shout out to C. Langley. I appreciate you. Oh, I like them locks. GameWise DJ says, what up, though? What up, GameWise? Ryan Powell says, Mexicans don't fight this hard in their own country. I agree with you. It's Queen to you, too. Queen to you, too? Says, just a proud American. Keep up the great work, AD. My hubby and I enjoy the platform. Thank you for rocking out with me. Hey, if y'all have not already, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And if you haven't, also subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. All right. Politi Latte says, a man just tried to rush the podium while Kristi Noem was giving a briefing on the Los Angeles riots. What did he plan on doing to this woman? Did y'all see Mark Lamont Hill get maced? OFC is paid. During the election cycle, they kept saying Trump would use the military in the U.S. Now they can say he did. Dietrich 2K says the best morning show ever. Shout out to the AD. Shout out to you, big dog. I appreciate you for tuning in. Jay Hunter Lee says, I've been told there were capitalist ads offering up to $12,000. Hard to turn that down, right? I'm behind in the stream, but yeah, due on the call argument was extremely weak. Whalers 860 says is gonna end up in martial law in Los Angeles, Chicago, and NYC. Maybe. Did y'all see Mark Lamont Hill get maced? Let me see if I can pull it up. Mark Lamont. Get pepper sprayed. Let me see if I can get this up here for y'all. Really, really quickly. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Family is absolutely connected to Mania. I just wanted to say thank you so much for helping him. However, I know that it's been brought to your attention kind of recently about.
Let me see if I can find something that's a little louder. Give me a second. Because that one a little low. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to pull it back up real quick.
I want to ask you to take a step back, please.
Now, I will say that Mark Lamont was a little slow to the draw. Mark Lamont was a little slow to the draw. I don't know why he moved like that. Mark Lamont ain't got no, seems like he ain't got no real black instincts in him. Now, I will say that prior to this, let me see if I can go up a little bit. Prior to this, he had, he had signal for security, so his instincts was on point. He had signal for security.
Basically, what is going on in regards to the CIA. So, what I mean by that is basically, you know about the sexual abuse.
You see how he signals to security? Check it out. He already looking at security right here.
So, what I mean by that is basically, you know about the sexual abuse that encountered.
He signaled to security, hey, this one is a weirdo. This one is she didn't catch him off guard, Tanisha. She didn't catch him off guard because he signaled to security. He told the security, hey, this one, focus. Actually, security was a little late to the draw, if you ask me, but.
That you encountered?
Yes, that I had encountered.
No, I've never met him before.
When she started moving like that, when she started moving over, she walked away from the microphone.
So, you don't know about the sexual abuse that encountered?
What is he still standing there for? At that point, I'm up. First of all, my security is a little different than his. My security is not waiting and none of that type of stuff. Whatever. My security is not waiting. We can dig into what was said during the whole conversation in a minute. But the minute that she start walking this way, well, you know what? It's time to make a move. We got to bust a move at that point. Because, see, you don't know what she got. This is look like a high school gymnasium. This is a high school gymnasium. She could have a pistol. She could have a knife. She could have she could literally be having anything to be out here taking his life. Thankfully, she only had pepper spray. Thankfully, she only had pepper spray. But, bro, you walking up, you got something in your hand, you got something in your pocket, and he's still sitting there? Nah, dog. No, dog. Look how, because he did signal for security.
That you encountered?
Yes, that I had encountered.
No, I've never met him before.
So you don't know about the sexual abuse that encountered?
What is he doing?
Ask you to take a step back, please.
Mark Lamont has zero situational awareness at all. Zero situational. Everybody got to go. Security got to go. Mark Lamont, he need retraining on how to identify a problem. Chick could have had anything in her hand. Anything in her hand whatsoever. He over there stumbling, falling on the chair. Come on, Mark. You better than this, bro. You better than this. Security did tackle her pretty nice. Woo!
This woman's broken into the store and vandalized me. That's how this Karen Robinson. Yeah, I've never met this woman before. You got the video, right? Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Mark Lamont Hill, apparently, because I was reading through some of the comments and I did a little bit of research when it's popped up on my algorithm yesterday. Apparently, he said, I'm not going to call the cops. He says, I'm not going to call the cops. Why wouldn't you call the cops? Now, I think that the security made up for it when he gave her that clothesline. He gave her that hard L. He said that she's broken into his bookstore and vandalized it before, but he's never met her before. Apparently, she's got some level of obsession with Mark Lamont Hill, and I don't know what it is. A lot of women is now defending her, saying, but I want to hear what she got to say. No, dog. You can't come under here vandalizing my bookstore, come up here trying to pepper spray me and all of this stuff. And then Mark Lamont Hill then says, no, I'm not going to call the cops. Now, Mark Lamont Hill, apparently, from what I've been reading, he's a person that is adamant about not getting the police involved in the overwhelming majority of any situation. He does not believe in getting the police involved. So in this situation, she just gets carried away. And that's it.
I saw it coming. That's what I'm saying. Get justice. Thank you. I just got to get out. Get out. Let's just walk out.
Yeah, no. I don't know what y'all got against police officers. I don't know what y'all think is going to happen. I think he should document it. He should report her. He should get a restraining order. He should press charges. I would do all of that. I don't know if it's because it's a woman or what, but he's saying that he don't want to call the police. He says that he don't want to call the police against this woman. What are you waiting to happen? What you think is going to happen? You think that this is going to play out in your favor if you decide not to call the police? So, yeah, man. Let me play it one more time. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Give me a second.
The CIA. So, what I mean by that is basically, you know about the sexual abuse that encountered.
That you encountered?
Yes, that I had encountered.
No, I've never met him before.
So you don't know about the sexual abuse that encountered?
I want to ask you to take a step back, please.
Yeah.
And this is why I walk around with security. All that keeping it real. You see Mark Lamont Hill, he's helpless. He's a grown, helpless man in this situation. And you got a big back. You got a big back that is spraying him with pepper spray, making accusations, that has formerly vandalized a bookstore, and he's talking about don't call the police. I Am 100 says, never met her before, but she vandalized my bookstore. Just because you never met a person before don't mean that you can't identify somebody that vandalized your bookstore. You could see them on camera. You could see what happened. The police employees, they could re-show something. See, that don't mean that you met somebody just because they tore your stuff up before. Does not mean that you met him before because he identified her as a person that has vandalized his bookstore. Two things can be true at the same time. I don't much agree with Mark Lamont Hill on a lot of his political or social issues, but that does not give somebody, I'm not going to celebrate anybody. Man, keep your hands to yourself. Keep your hands to yourself and don't come up on me. Just don't come up. He's helpless. See this man? He's helpless. This is why you keep security. This is why you stay 10 toes down. This is why you stay situationally aware and you don't allow for a woman to come up here and take advantage of you. Sabrina says he knows that woman. How would he know her? Steve S says 80, there's something else to miss. Oh my God. Black people are all conspiracy theorists. They're all conspiracy theorists. How come people don't just have stalkers no more? You think Mark Lamont, I don't know. No. Mark Lamont Hill, I don't believe Mark Lamont Hill. First of all, I don't believe Mark Lamont Hill has a side chick, first of all. Secondly, certainly not her. Would you have her as your side chick? Big back. Heck no. Y'all not gonna sit here and try to make this out to be some more than what it is. He's the victim. How did this go from Mark Lamont Hill being the victim? Look at him. He's clearly the victim. How did this go from Mark Lamont Hill from being the victim to now all of a sudden he's the person that's the perpetrator? You see how y'all turning this on Mark Lamont? I'm going to discuss this on After Hours. Let me make sure I put this in my notes. Y'all honestly believe, how y'all gonna sit here and say he? Nah. Don't do that to Mark. Don't do that to Mark. Don't do that. He's the victim. Look at him. He's a helpless fawn out there. He's like a helpless duck.
I ask you to take a step back, please. Take a step back, please.
He's so helpless up there. Look at that big girl. Now, y'all will sit here and say, and you know what else y'all will say? Never hit a girl. Never hit a woman. Okay, well, is this a valid reason to be able to give her an 8-piece and then kick her in her back? Because I hear y'all all the time. I hear y'all simps all the time. And when I say, no, it's plenty of reasons to be able to defend yourself against a big back. And y'all say, he is a helpless fawn, Tim. Y'all always say, never, ever hold her, shake her, subdue her, prevent. Man, look at that. Never hit a woman ever. Never hit a woman ever. Okay. All right. Well, you end up like Mark Lamont Hill. Bro went in a straight flight mode. I'm different. Keep on giving people the benefit of the doubt and see what happens. Never hit a woman. Never put your hands on her. Just hold her. Yeah, okay. Okay, you got it. No. You got to go out, bro. Bobby Sherry, no, you didn't say she probably got that wet. All right. That's my cue to end the show. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel with 10 of your notifications. She got that wet, Bobby Sherry. No, we could do better than that, bro. we gotta do better, bro. We gotta do better. No, we cannot keep on putting ourselves in this negative space. I'm trying to lose weight, be more health conscious. Y'all sending me all of this good stuff. Sending me all of these good gifts. Sending me all of these good gifts. I give up. Ooh, my favorite. Chocolate covered strawberries. Nothing like a good old chocolate covered strawberry. Shout out to the ladies that know how to show their appreciation for men. I see you, Chris. Well, there will be no fasting today. Sent my favorite. I appreciate it. Anytime y'all can make excuses to make sure that y'all take care of time, dog. Chocolate covered strawberries. Ain't that some stuff? All right. Out here for the ASMR. Oh man. All right, let me read some of these super chats, see what we talking about. Mukbang stream. What up, Renee? Renee, did you change your profile picture? All right, Renee. Justin Miles. There was job listings yesterday in LA for $6,500 a week to protest. Really? Seriously? What? That's a lot of money. Get that orangutan of a linebacker locked up. DJ B Fit says $200 is a lot for a 19, 20-year-old with no job. Facts. McDice is in the building. McDice says, not calling the cops is enabling bad behavior and allowing women to think that they can lay hands on men. I agree. Big Truck 419 says, what up, though? I appreciate you. Just Christian in the building says, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. The hard way. Resident D 1022 says, remember the website I sent you called No Kings? No, I don't remember it. Unbiasedly Raw says, folks ain't learned from Selena. Call 12. Better call 12. She's stalking them like old girl from Misery. Facts. Fly Brown says, this from MLK Day in 2024, by the way. The clip just surfaced just now because spoke about it on the Joe Budden podcast, and they laughed hysterically at him. I'm introducing on After Hours, and I'm going to see what's going on. Renee do got their clavicles, don't she? Shout out to Renee. Renee, you changed your profile picture? Talking about thank you. We got to, what did Umar Johnson say? We got to stay focused, brothers. We got to stay focused. Oh, After Hours tonight, we going to get it in. I got to schedule the Patreon live stream to do this AI talk because I got to update y'all on what's going on with that. So, yeah. Mark Lamont said the video is from 2024. That was just last year. That wasn't that long ago. Let me look at some of y'all super chats, y'all cash apps too, before we get out of here. On Cash App, Chef G Rap is in the building. What up, G Rap? G Rap says security needs to wrap up on that tackle. Facts. And shout out to Shamara. I appreciate you too. Spencer Campbell, Mike, that dude. That's what's up. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm expecting to see every last one of y'all on After Hours tonight. All right? You just here for the snow bunnies? Call in tomorrow. I'm going to let y'all call in. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.